very sparse. We'll keep an eye on that.
Away we go. Friday night football, the opening bounce. Noble trying to get it on the way down. White flicks it up. McLean's got it. Bumped solidly by Kellaway. Johnson dug it out. Coughlin to Hyde. Hyde a penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Big leap at the back down there for Melbourne. Whelan found it on the deck, then overran the football. Simmons going to ground, gets a hand pass away. Well done by Brown, taken high, and he'll get the free kick.
Had the hands on the shoulder on the initial marking contest that came in. It was a bit stiff not to get an early free kick.
Brown about 60 metres out.
Oh, Simmons just floated through from behind.
Sets it up in that direction. Well, he did some pushing. Couldn't do any marking. Brown to Green. Back to Brown. Out of defence, the short one, Bizzle. Maloney across half-back, inside the centre square, 1-3 behind Davey. Dipper runs free, still going, 55 metres out, Bacon square with this one on.
That is a fantastic result for Aaron Davey. The kick out of the half-back line was short to a lead-up Miller and missed him, and then probably the only player on the ground who was capable of turning this into a goal was Aaron Davey, because just watch the acceleration. He runs past Coughlin and then was able to just put the foot down and run away from Tivendale. So of the 36 players out there, Aaron Davey probably the only player capable of turning nothing into something.
Welcome back, and have a look at this, Aaron Davies. This is just sensational play. Left foot kick at the goal, always on target, and that is as good a goal as you'll ever see from a running player. So the Demons off to a flyer. They get a goal with their first foray inside 50 after a minute of play. Johnson was driven into the ground. Will get the free kick from Maloney. Gets it out. Hyde inside up towards Richardson. Spin it before he had it. Nicholson over the top, and Richo kicked his feet. He's got it. He goes inside 50, kicks to the square. Simmons from behind. Won't hold it. Ferguson did well, held him out. Green gets it over to Johnston. Johnston transfers play, and it's been marked by Whitley. He gets it away to Whelan. Whelan now up towards McLean at half-back flank. Takes the mark. Maloney running through the midfield. He decides to go up the line. It's a good kick as well. The mark taken by Sylvia. Sylvia chips it nicely onto Jeff White. Now Maloney. Here's a thumping kick from 55. He sets sail behind. It's long to the square. The mark's been taken by Holland, and it's a goal. Two in a row from two inside 50s to the Demons.
Very good ball movement the way they brought it out of the back line, and it took the nous of Travis Johnson way down the full back to say, no, we need to change the direction here. They brought it out the other side. It was clear open space to run through, and that man right there has been fantastic for the Maloney this year, bringing the ball inside 50. His first touch for the night, and inside 50 results in a goal. And just had the right position at the right time there, Benny Holland.
Great start by the Demons then. They lead by 12 points. Back in the middle. Good bounce too. White up very early. Noble decisively chopped off by Bizzle. Puts a hand pass away to Green. Into the path of Maloney. Maloney taken down. Got the handball away just in the nick of time. Chaffee comes to Pettifer. Pettifer towards half forward and Simmons. Simmons, the former Docker. Down towards half forward then. Just pops it to space. Pettifer's run on. He's about 60 metres out. Now he's stopped. Eventually gets a hand pass away. This is Hyde. Hyde from 60 metres out. Long towards full forward. Bizzle in from the side. Nicholson did his job. Shoulder to shoulder with Richo. And Richo didn't leave the ground. Here's Brown in the back pocket. Melbourne with a flying start. Goes to Holland and Davies so far. Brown short, and Maloney has it left half back.
Maloney, it was interesting, you said Simmons, the former Docker. There's a few boos from the former Melbourne people as well. They got into him from a long time back. Mark taken there by Miller. Free kick, Ferguson. Coming back to Ferguson, as Gary said. By the way, the crowd, there are a couple of pockets literally in the forward pockets at the respective ends that are empty, but the rest of the place is absolutely jam-packed. Big crowd in the top deck here, the third level, as Ferguson kicks to the forward 50 for Melbourne. Inside 50 they go. Bounced off Gasper's head. Brown for Melbourne. Around the body with the kick. Robertson just tried to tap it over the top. Almost came off for him. Not quite. As the kick goes over the line. No. Johnston kept it in play. Boundary umpire says all clear. So he brings the ball into Jeff White, who marks between centre wing and half-forward flank.
Looks like he's got his skates on tonight, Jeff White. He needs to run Noble from one end of the ground to the other.
Bruce is the big lead. Oh, it was a beauty and a lovely kick as well. Bruce doubled back in a horseshoe run and then sprinted up the middle of the ground. Will now line up from just on 50.
And Joel Bowden's picked him up. Now, Joel Bowden is a fantastic zone-off player who likes to find some space and rebound. They will kick the ball to this bloke at every opportunity, so it might be a trouble.
Well, without Neats there, you'd think he'd be just about the go-to player.
Wings out wide to try and get the distance, but overhooked the kick. It's through for a behind. The first of the evening, and Melbourne at 2-1-13, leading the Tigers yet to score. And of course, Bowden running around with a depressed fractured cheekbone.
Newman short to Johnson. Cameron Bruce, who made his debut against the Tigers round 1 2000 on a Wednesday night. The Tigers won by 2 points. Johnson to Graham, so good last week. Chips it out wide. This is Kellaway up from the back pocket. And a couple of minds barking the instructions. Just scrolls up to centre half back and beyond.
He's run hard.
Chippendale got the run of it. Taken down by Davey. Pettifer to Chappie to Bowden. Chips it inside the forward 50. Ferguson goes back. Takes the mark to Green to Brown. Brown goes towards half forward. Miller back in the side. Lays it off. Brown storms on. 75 metres from goal. Long down towards full forward. Uzo. Putting it to the body. The snap deep in the pocket. Straight over the goal umpires.
Be invaluable for them, Gaz, because the Tigers haven't found their game or any form of momentum going forward at the moment, so this is bonus goals. The Tigers will get it at some stage.
Mark Graham playing centre half back was great last week, I believe, on Brown at various stages, but Miller is a much different player. Brad Miller's presentation of the footy from half forward has already left Graham behind 5 and 10 metres, and the other end of the ground, Ferguson standing up really well for the Demons.
Adamuse deadly, beautiful skills, just because you're punting out of the way, and you knew from that moment it was always going to be a goal. Look at that.
Bowden being moved off Bruce too. Gasper's gone to Cameron Bruce, Bowden to Miller.
Early votes to Ferguson across the half-back line.
Sensational.
Up they go, bounced off Noble's head. McLean crashes through, does it well, picks it up, got the kick away and kicked it to a man too. Look at this, Johnson can go all the way. He can run all the way and kick a goal. 2 bounces, he lines up from 40 metres out. Trouble. Johnson, you beauty.
Two goals have been got by Melbourne because of this matchup that Richmond are trying to orchestrate. They've got Hyde starting on the wing, then he goes into the middle to try and find Travis Johnston. Now, on one occasion he left Sylvia on his own, and Sylvia was the go-to man who got the ball deep. And on that occasion, Hyde just didn't go with Johnston. They get confused in the crossover. Now it looks like Hyde's going into the centre of the ground to start with Johnston.
Well, concerns there. Just nibbling at the phone. And Melbourne, more than nibbling at the Tigers right now on the scoreboard. White lays it down. Maloney at close quarters to Sylvia. Noble's got it. Got it away to Coughlin. Forced to go back. Bowden under pressure. Across the body. How will it bounce? Awkwardly, Hyde comes to it and then takes it across the line.
Just repeating that, Hyde, who had started on the wing, has now gone into the middle to start with Travis Johnston rather than trying to pick him up after the centre bounce goes. And that has cost Richmond 2 goals already.
Johnston in terrific form. Coming off the season's high 29 possessions last week. McLean to half forward. Robbo is up. Couldn't hang on. Knocked away by Kellaway. Sylvia quick hands to White on the ball. Holland. And Holland has taken the mark. 40 metres out directly in front. But bear in mind what happened last week from the first term. Nothing can be taken for granted given that fight back by the Crows on Friday Night Football.
Well, Jeff White was very damaging then. Able to contest on the wing and then push forward just past that little deft handball give off. He's like another midfielder and Noble can't run with him.
Under 20 minutes last week, St Kilda led by 30. This will lead at 31. A sense of deja vu, and it's not the 13th. He's got 2.
Well, the one thing Terry Wallace will do now he'll just batten down the hatches and make sure this isn't an 8 or 9 goal lead at quarter time. But we've only played a quarter of this quarter. We're only 5 minutes in, 5-6 minutes in.
This is how good forward lines work, though, because Gasper had Holland early. Because of the great start of Bruce and Miller, they've had to reshuffle. And now Mark Graham, probably the weakest link back there, has had to go to Holland. And now they've got a goal.
5 goals, 1-0, 31 points to difference. Disposals this term, we've only been going 10 minutes. 40 to Melbourne, 23 to Richmond, 5 goals to 0. Out of the centre, Coughlin got one high. Umpire calls play on now as Coughlin kicks it inside 50. Out comes Richard, gets it on the bounce. Bizzle under pressure, good play there from Brown. Nicholson lent some support to Whelan, did it very well. Held his head, kept his composure. But Brown, who's been the dasher from defence, he's taken them on again. He comes up to the centre of the ground now. Was over the head almost of McLean. He had courage. He kicks inside 50.
What a good boy, Brock McLean. He just sensed he was going to be under real pressure there if he just played on. But he's such a tough kid. He said, well, I'll take that pressure. And if you get to me and you lay one on me, well, I'll wear that. Watch this. He runs back. He's not quite sure who's there, but he goes anyway. And he's straight away. He senses that Tivendale's there. Tivendale could have done something to him.
Play on the key. Play on footy.
Yeah. Uzo for his second. Can he kick it? He sets it up. It bends back. It's just not enough. And it's through for their second behind. It's all the Demons. It's 5-2, 32. Richmond yet to score. The round 10 hoodoo. Is it going to hit early for the Tigers tonight? Marks inside 50. Melbourne 4. Tigers are yet to have one.
Tivendale to Bowden. Got to come back in, doesn't he? Out of the back pocket. Little chip to space. Running hard as Coughlin takes the mark. He's been in rare form, Coughlin. Something Gunny Frawley didn't have last season. Been a revelation so far this year. To Newman across our back. Man onto the opposite side of the ground is Graham. Well, it's over his head. This will be interesting. Holland. He's playing with confidence, and Graham runs him off, though. Wheels around now. Short one back to the skipper. Johnson is in right half back. Nothing fluid about the Tigers at the moment. There's Hyde. Elects to play on the wing. Looking down towards half forward. Penetrating kick. In front is Brown with his fist in the back. He's going to get the free kick.
He did that well.
Yeah, he should have. He should have got the free kick early. He had the jumper pulled early in the piece, Nathan Brown.
Wow.
And then the free kick was played for over the shoulder.
Well, some reverse pulling there.
Oh, he had the first grab, Matthew Whelan.
Brown just going on the backhand. But here he is. 35 metres out. Got close. Gives it plenty of air. I think it's okay. Eventually, belatedly, the Tigers on the board.
Important player, Whelan. He's got his hands full with one of the very best in the caper in Nathan Brown. And you just see, actually it's probably 5 seconds before that, there was a big tug on the jumper from Whelan, then probably a little bit of giving him one back from Nathan Brown.
Is that too high though, boys?
Oh, it is in this day and age, yeah. It is in this day and age.
Probably in the back anyway.
Yeah, but gee, they need to settle it. They've been in disarray. I mean, their midfield all over the shop.
A great kick from Nathan Brown. Gets the Tigers on the board.
Gets him a run in the middle too. He swaps with Shane Tuck, and young Tucky hasn't touched the thing yet.
It's very similar to last week when Adelaide were 30 points down at the 20-minute mark of the first term, and of course ended up flogging St Kilda. So there's still life in the Tigers early on. 11 and a half minutes left in this term, but it's McLean from half-back for the Melbourne side, who kicks it to centre wing. Callaway does well, got to the front, held the mark. Pete Robertson handballs up the line. Johnson has been busy, the skipper, in the famous number 17 Guernsey. Gets it across, and the mark has been taken by Tuck. Called the play on. He kicks it inside 50. From behind, Richard's got it. Just judged it too well for Nicholson. Had the fly from behind. And Richo from 15 metres out. This is the danger kick for him, though.
Yeah, and it's a worry for Melbourne as well, because if they can maintain midfield pressure, then the supply isn't that great. But every time you look forward, Richardson or Simmons or Brown is able to lose their man.
This will be the start of the fight back if he can kick it. 2 quick goals is what the Tigers needed. They're back in it. Richo's on the board.
Well, they did jump him. And they did get those bonus goals we talked about at the start before Richmond settled into any form of a game plan or strategy or the way they normally play. Normally those bonus goals you get maybe 1 or 2 goes, but they got 5 of them. They really blitzed Richmond, and they are going to take some hauling in. The Tigers are seeming to get their midfield going now. Took Nathan Brown going into the middle to find some ball in there as well again.
And that goal puts Richardson third all time for the Tigers, behind Jack Titus and Kevin Bartlett. An elite company moves ahead of Michael Roach. Simmons taken down by Jamar. McLean kicks it out towards the wing. Green tracking it out there. Will the boundary win? Yes, it does.
Now, Matthew Richardson's given a lot of room where he can work both up and back. Will give Alistair Nicholson plenty to think about, because he's a very good straight-ahead player. He's given a lot of space behind him. That's where you get nervous.
Boundary throw in. Jamar and Simmons. Simmons won it down. McLean. Jamar coughed it up. Johnson. Hand pass comes across from Brown. Coughlin gets inside the forward 50. Richardson goes back, and that's a very, very good mark.
That is the classic example. He started to lead forward. I'm not sure whether we've got a camera on him. He started to lead forward, realised that he wasn't going to get it forward. He doubled back. The minute he doubled back, Alistair Nicholson was in trouble.
He always likes a peek to the giant scoreboard, Richo, going back there. They should give him a remote.
Good handball from Brown, wasn't it?
35 metres out it was. Forward of the play, releasing Coughlin. And now Richo, a confidence player. If he were to pop this through, Tigers would be back on track. And he comes. He likes it off the boot. He's parading. He's got the fist up. Hit the post. Premature celebration from Richo.
This will be an interest for us to see how the Demons go. Now the Tigers are set up better in a defensive mode right through the middle of the ground. We'll see still how Melbourne are transferring the ball.
Could have bit in the air, that one, Richo. He thought he had it.
Better in their zone.
And he's coming back. Tigers had it. No. Simmons couldn't quite hold the mark.
A good fight.
Bruce over the top there, waiting for it to come out. Now the ball spills to Brown. Lightning handball again is a good one. Now for Chappie. He's released Pettifer. Away he goes. It's Pettifer from 55. He goes long to the square. He's got it. Oh no, touched by a Tiger. Schultz just touched it on the way through, I think.
Well, that's a skill error by Schultz. He's got to go for it. When there's that many people around it, he's got to go for it, and a league player should mark those.
Pettifer gets it behind. Another kick out. There's a shocker here. They go Brown again with the handball to Coughlin. Coughlin over the top. Lining up for goals. It's offline, is it? Yes, he's missed. Tuck has missed the shot.
Permanent forward now, Shane Tuck. Just took him out of the midfield. Brent Maloney was finding a bit of the ball, and Tucky couldn't get any of it. Here you go.
Jay Schultz.
Yeah, should have marked.
Well, that's three very gettable goals that they've missed in the last couple of minutes. I think Paul Wheatley's just breathed a sigh of relief.
Johnston with precision. Nicholson to Brown. Runs beyond half back. Probing kick to half forward. Miller on the chest. Too easy. Plays on immediately. Davey provides the acceleration. Goes long to the pocket. Uze missed it. Lurking behind his Holland. It bounces across the line. Boundary throw in. 32 plays 15. Bench for the Tigers. Raw night in Melbourne outside. Very cold. 11 degrees when we started. No problems indoors. Friday night football. The big stage. Simmons down. McLean almost. Gaspar to Chippendale. Hard against the boundary line. Straight to Johnston. Who moments ago was kicking in at the opposite end. With the red boots, if you don't mind. Looks towards the middle. Robertson. Will he get to the contest? No. Johnson stood his ground. Lays it off. Brown out of the back pocket. Goes up towards the wing. Johnston once more.
Yeah, they're kicking it to him.
Never been over 30 possessions.
Always tries to come inside.
There's Bruce weaving inside the 50. In front, Graham. Working behind Gaspar. Chappie under pressure. Great block there from Holland. It ricochets towards the boundary line. Newman gets a kick away. Close to the line. Juggled by Coughlin, who flirted with the idea of going. Decides to stop at left half back.
I think you're very kind there, Dennis, saying he flirted with the idea.
Oh, there it is. Tigers. Johnson, the intercept. Johnson, the intercept the second time. It's Johnson and Johnson going at it on the ground. Down the ball up. By the way, 10.8 degrees outside, 17 degrees inside at the Dome as we go to Tony Jones' boundary side.
Took the words right out of my mouth there.
Sorry, Tony. It certainly wasn't while I was kissing you, mate. As the ball comes out, right. Interception. Johnson again. He's the interception man tonight. He looks up and goes wide. Now towards Uze, just using the body. Trapped it beautifully. Got it off now. The kick comes inside from Green to the square. Almost too high to Holland. Play on to the umpire. Johnson does it beautifully. Hit him hard to the ball. Picked it up and got it away. Now they can run it out. The Tigers just into that. He's intercepted again. That's 3 interceptions in 2 minutes.
And some great forward pressure from Davies.
McLean centres it up. Going back and taking the mark is Sylvia. And Sylvia's kicked 3 goals, 5 this year. 4 goals in his career. And this is a big steadier for the Demons, who had led by 31 points.
He's a thumping kick of the footy, Colin Sylvia. The distance would not be a problem.
11 minutes ago, they led by 31 points. The Tigers, in that period, have been able to kick their score 2-3-15. So Sylvia, Gary Lyon says a thumping kick from 52 metres. He's got the distance and has got the accuracy. That is a beauty, and that steadies it for the Demons.
They got 2 beauties, Melbourne, in a draft last year. One by the name of Brock McLean and this kid here, Colin Sylvia. Now McLean starting in the centre and pretty well going head-to-head with Mark Coghlan, and you've got Colin Sylvia who's playing on a wing, and they are both playing beautiful footy.
Well, there's his mate, the one you called first, who got it and kicked it to him.
They always look in the middle of the ground, Doom. They're always willing to bring it back inside, and that is a beautiful kick of the ball.
Sylvia now has 4 goals for the season. Interesting disposals, 59 apiece. Melbourne doing better with them, obviously. Jamar waits. Simmons came over the top. Godfrey, a lead inclusion, went to ground. Hard against the flow, slips it away. Tuck goes down towards half forward. Chance now for Pettifer. Bizzle, hot in his hammer, took him down. Pettifer, covered by Bizzle. In the back is the umpire.
Pull the grass out of your bottom row of teeth with that.
Pettifer's got the free. Beg your pardon, there goes the short one, and the mark is taken by Campbell, about 40 metres out.
Now, I'm sure that Wayne Campbell's been brought onto the ground, put up forward there, because he's such an intelligent player to actually create space for Matty Richardson to try and exploit Alistair Nicholson. And he's been able to do it. He's been able to lead his man away from Richo so far and finds himself on the end of this one.
Started for the first time this year on the ground.
Yep.
First possession. Steps inside the 50. We're right behind him. And makes good. Splits the middle.
Well, he's one of those players that is smart enough to know when to go and when not to. And I guess if players drop off him, then he demands enough respect to be able to get the ball kicked to him.
Well, he did go down onto his knees first, came Pettifer, but it's pretty untidy by Bizzle, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon he went on his knees. But anyway, he's an important player, Pettifer, because he's playing on Bizzle. He's got to be able to track some footy, otherwise Bizzle will continue to drop into that hole and make it hard for the likes of Brown and Richardson.
Clearances, Richmond 9 to Melbourne 3. Johnson has been the dominant player with 4 clearances out of the centre. Simmons got a beautiful tap to Chappie. That's another clearance for the Tigers. Here they go. Simmons inside 50 with the kick. Schultz came out, couldn't quite grab it. It spills to the Pettifer, drags to the ground. Leo did it well. Johnson, Hyde, tried to break the tackle, couldn't get it away. Campbell flicks it away to Chappie. Chappie's kick is smothered. Right play by Brown. Campbell goes again. To Bowden from right on 50 with his play to left. He kicks the goal. 2 in a row to the Tigers.
Good pressure by the D's, though. Did beautifully there, but they just had weight in numbers, and Joel Bowden's come up from the half-back line. And each time he saw a smother or the likes there, he just built it up an extra few yards. Look at him, there's Chappie waiting for it.
And you might see in the background, you might see Brad Miller. There's Bowden now. Brad Miller charged in off the square. Bowden got the ball fed back to him and kicked it in initially, and then, as you said to him, slowly worked his way forward, just hung around. Miller sat back at half forward, and there's the goal.
Well, we've got this game on now. It looked like it could be a whitewash in the first few minutes, 6 minutes of this game, but Richmond have got their game together now.
11 points to margin. Doc, what about Joel Bowden?
Yeah, 2 steel plates in that base only 4 days ago, almost reinforced industrially, so he's quite happy. That'll be a confidence booster for him, Dennis.
Remarkable. Bizzle's got the free across half back. Hodgson kicked it down there. Just over 4 minutes till quarter time.
Miller's leg too early.
Melbourne being challenged now. Whelan comes out wider still to Davey. Nobody near him. He's running up towards the wing. Met now by Tuck. Too nimble for Tuck. Gets away. Kicks towards half forward. Good kick too. Holland didn't have to break stride. He's got it 51 metres out. He's already booted 2 against his whole team. Comes back to McDonald. 60 metres from goal still. Improved the angle. Johnston, who's been terrific. Down towards the pocket. Robertson hasn't seen a lot of it. Gaspar works him over. Johnson falling to the ground. Graham slips it away. Bowden, who got the last goal, gets through to Tuck across half back. Looks towards the wing. Deledio will have to go here, and he did. Oh, clever young man.
I'll tell you what, send the runner out to Greg Tivendale if you're Terry Moss, because he allowed Aaron Davey to filter up to the half-back line and be the link man about 60 seconds ago.
Deledio towards half forward. It was touched en route to Brown. Still he goes. Brown across the body inside the forward 50. Richo couldn't prevent Byers. Waiting behind it's Ferguson. Kicks it back towards half back. Brown did well. Whelan came hard. Brown felt it.
Space here. The Richmond forwards really got to work hard and be disciplined to leave some space.
Brown with his 8th disposal in this first term, including a ripping goal. And he just chips it over the top to Campbell, who wanted to play on. Now will come back.
Yeah, it was in time. I can't do it. Now, what they need to do here, the Tiger forwards, is pull away and they get 3 or 4 leads, but the one who doesn't lead should be Matty Richardson. Big and strong, he can shepherd it through on the line, or at least make a one-on contest.
Good
lead.
This was a bit easy. Simmons got away from Miller, who was asleep.
Now, what he's done, Ed, he's actually gone onto the ball, and it's Jeff White was responsible for him. And as I called Richo down on the line, that was starting to happen. And Jeff White thought, I'll go to the goal line and touch the long shot through. And that left Simmons by himself inside 50.
He's looking at Brown.
So Troy Simmons. Big goal, this one for the Tigers. As I said, they trailed by 31 points at the 9-minute and 40-second mark with 27 minutes and 40. So 18 minutes later, just to make it a kick the difference. And he's got it! Beautiful kick from Simmons. What a quarter of football we've had.
And this is amazing stuff. This is like the old street fight at Gaz. Some bloke gives it his best, and the other bloke rocks onto his heel and then comes back with a smile. And it's good. That's what the Tigers are doing. They're smiling at him now, and they've got their game happening. It's a good game.
6 goals to 5. I think what we've got, Derm, and the scoreboard would tell the story, that you've got 2 forward lines that are pretty well on top at the moment, and so midfield supremacy obviously becomes so important. Now Melbourne were dominant through there in the first 10 minutes. They had so much space to run through the middle of the ground, which is their preferred MO. And Richard just fought back and hit back through some real serious hard work.
Tigers have got the last 3 goals and 5 of the last 6. Nathan Foley on the ground for his first run. There he is, number 41, immediately into the action. Johnston, knows it's in there somewhere, will have a ball up. And you've got to say that Richmond's numbers are very hard to read. Very hard to read. From a distance, it does look like someone's cracked an egg.
Dominating possession, dominating out of the middle. 9-1 the Tigers.
Off hands. Johnston waited to play the tackle on Coghlan. Did not wait. Down he goes. Green took him down. McLean, cleverly done, slips it away. Johnston on the wing. Had a wonderful turn. Comes to Sylvia on the bounce. Just lays it off to the run of this man Green, who goes inside the 50 and gets the long goal.
I just don't agree with this footy at the moment, just for the last couple of minutes. Aaron Davey, once again, once the ball's bounced, he's playing half-forward flank. He runs up to the centre of the ground, the half-back line. There he is, sitting just around the ball, but he's an extra number there, and with weight and numbers, they end up winning it. And when the ball comes down this way, you might see Aaron Davies' opponent, Greg Tivendale, the ball come past him, and he just fractionally, there he is, he tries to smother that one. He's standing down there. They're not going to kick it to Tivendale.
And just the way they played, Doom. Johnston, Travis, that was, running to the boundary, stopped, propped, came back, kicked the ball in the middle of the ground, opens up everything.
Same thing again. Aaron Davies has already run to the back flank and by himself, and Tivendale is standing down on his own back flank by himself, and that's his opponent. He's got to run up there with him.
7-2-44 is Melbourne's best first quarter for the season as Tuck gets the ball out. The Tigers are not done with it yet. Out towards Richo, trapped it beautifully. Over his shoulder, the centering kick is a good one too. Delidio nearly puts his opponent on. Now the battle's on. Delidio was first in. I thought he got one in the back there, maybe a little bit to the side. Umpire will bounce 25 metres out. The clock is ticking. We're inside a minute to go in the first term. What a quarter of football. 12 goals being scored. 7 of the Tigers, 7 of the Demons, 5 to the Tigers. White got the tap. Wheatley tries to get it away and gets a soft free kick. Brown. Strong play and good mark taken by Cameron Brooks. A defensive 50. Still time for both sides to kick a goal.
That's it there.
Bruce. Demons will be happy now to go into the 11-point lead, having led by 31 at one stage early in this term. Kicks it out wide, off the hands of the pack. Miller's there, over the line, out of bounds for a throw-in.
Nathan Brown of Richmond going beautifully early on in the piece. Had a fair bit of the footy. 8 touches. Nathan Brown of Melbourne also going beautifully.
It's a bit like this quarter. They're win-loss, win-loss. They won the first half of the quarter and have lost the second half. There's Cracker and there's the siren. And an amazing quarter of football to start Friday night football here at the Telstra Dome in round 10. With Melbourne kicking the first 5 goals of the match. The Tigers kicking 5 of the next 6, and Green putting one on the board to finish proceedings with an 11-point margin for the Melbourne Football Club. They lead 7 goals to 44. Richmond are 5-3-33. It's 11 points at the Telstra Dome on Friday night football.
Saturday, live from noon, Jason Dunstall and Wayne Carey bring you Fox Footy's Saturday Central.
Here we go.
At 2, we're live and exclusive at the MCG for the Hawks and Pies clash. Then, at 7, we head to the Gabba where the Kangaroos and Lions go at it lock, stock and barrel.
45 out, he puts it through!
Saturday Central, live at noon. Hawks Pies, 2 o'clock live. Before Lions and Kangaroos, live at 7. Then Saints and Swans and Cats Dockers.
Reborn on DVD. Time for payback. The third installment will blow your mind away in an awesome 2-disc set, including the cinema version, plus the even more exciting extended director's cut. Disc 2 is loaded with hours of incredible special features that take you behind and beyond the Blade legend.
I'm impressed.
Blade Trinity, going for the jugular on DVD.
Harvey Norman wants you to do absolutely nothing until October 2006. Pay zip, no deposit, no repayments, absolutely no interest for 17 months. But hurry, this offer must end May 30th. Now's the time to buy the latest in computers, electrical, furniture, bedding, bedroom furniture, and much, much more from Harvey Norman and pay nothing for 17 months. No deposit, no repayments, no interest until October 2006. But be quick, you only have until May 30th. Don't miss the boat. Hurry in now and buy on 17 months interest-free at Harvey Norman. Hurry!
Go, Harvey Norman, go!
Clean up at Bunnings Warehouse with the lowest prices every day. Click 4-way power board with dust cover, just $8.50. GMC electric hedge trimmer, a low $39.99. Aluminium work platform, only $59. 2 kilo first aid lawn repair kit, a low $9.95. Parfix all-purpose silicone, just $4.98. If you happen to find a cheaper price on the stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Bunnings Warehouse!
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Watch The Winners. We'll recap on everything you need to know on every game.
Every Sunday night from 7:30, get all the highlights, stats and post-match reaction from every game with this week's host, Jim Wilson.
It's footy's ultimate wrap every Sunday.
The Winners, Sunday at 7:30 local on Fox Footy Channel.
Welcome back on Friday Night Football. Big crowd in at the Dome, and it's Melbourne 7-2-44, leading Richmond 5-3-33. We believe that Ben Holland has been reported for allegedly striking Darren Gasper some 100 metres off the ball by umpire Bozzo. We'll get a confirmation on that a little bit later on, but well off the ball. It's alleged that he has been reported for striking Darren Gasper. Melbourne's best first quarter against Richmond since round 19, 1988, Dern.
Let's have a look how the Demons have done it. These are their shots at goal. Look where they are. The weight of those shots at goal, apart from the one by Uze out of the pocket and the Ben Holland in the goal square, they're all from about 35, 40 metres beyond. Now, that's great. They're all fairly corridor, except for that one out way up in the right. How they've done it, let's have a look how they bring the ball inside 50. Travis Johnson 4 times, always looks into the centre. Aaron Davey twice out of the centre is spotted up. White twice, Maloney twice. And what they do, see the start of these ribbons? They're getting the ball in space, free run, and they go for that long kick inside 50 to give their teammates a one-on-one.
Let's go down to Tony Jones, boundary side.
Yes, Eddie, we can confirm that there has been a report. Umpire Bozzo, as you said, has reported Ben Holland for striking Darren Gasper behind play. Both coaches very happy with that quarter.
Thanks, Tony. So are we. We enjoyed that. Umpires tonight, Bozzo, McInerney, and the man bouncing, Justin Schmidt. Second term. That is a very good bounce to start proceedings. Some interference in mid-air, and White gets the free kick.
Aaron Davey out wide.
Goes to him now. Here's Davey, metres in the clear. He's away again, loves this situation. Little chip to half forward. Green, wonderful goal in the opening term, on the run. 75 metres out here. Neats out of the team tonight. Green sets it long towards full forward. Holland trying to work in front. In the process, Graham was slung. There's the man on report. Graham, meantime, comes short towards the pocket. Sevendale, punishing kick up towards the wing. Chappie, 11 points to margin. Chappie goes to half forward. The mark is taken by Pettifer. Pettifer inside the centre square. Looks down towards the forward pocket. That's a pretty good kick. Brown working behind, not required. In front. The mark has been taken by the big man. That's Noble.
He's done on contact as well as a mark. You got it, he's paid the mark. You've got to ask a couple of questions of two players. Brad Green, first of all. Now, Chaffee is the man that is his opponent. Green's on the other side of the ground of the footy, of course. He kicked it, must have just spectated for a while. Chaffee ran off and linked up, and Jeff White shouldn't really be running off his feet by this bloke, Trent Noble.
So this will take as good as he can get out with his foot skills. Good luck to the boy. Maybe he can kick straight, but not a goal kicker of fame.
He's got
high fame.
He's got 3 this season. When he comes 25 metres out, he's got 3 this season. This is to the left-hand side. The margin is back to 10 points now, but that was a good mark, making White think as he went forward. And Thomas, former coach,
The other important play was Pettifer on Bizzle. Pushed up the ground. Bizzle was off him. They honoured the lead.
Johnston to bring it in. Been very busy tonight. For the back pocket, got there in time. Wheatley.
So Wheatley has it in the back pocket. Chip over the top. Boys, have they got a little bit more defensive, both teams, this quarter?
Well, you can have a shootout there. Some big numbers being racked up in the middle of the ground by the midfielders, which means they're all going one way.
A little bit of Johnston, a beautiful kick up forward. A little shimmy along the way. Opened it up for him, and Bizzle has run from half back to half forward to have a shot at goal.
It's amazing you made that call, Ed, because as soon as you did, they just ran free against each other again, and they were everywhere. Once the ball's in flight, have a look at them. They're just going everywhere, and even Jeff White has actually just run past that contest. He was just out of frame to the left still.
That's Pettifer's man. Who needed to run hard defensively.
The Biz hasn't scored this year. He's kicked 79 goals, 61 in his career. Now up to game 143. From right on the 50, this will be a great start for the Demons. They got the last of the first term. They're not going to get the first of the second. Baraba off hands, almost the mark taken. Now chance for Robertson, hasn't seen much of it, he's been closely seen to. The ball comes out to Bruce, gets the handball away. Uze couldn't control it. Gasper, side pump. Davey did well. Robertson did exceptionally well. Threw it out. Play on. Gasper gets it to Kivendale. Dances back onto his favourite left side. Gets it away. A big torpedo. Now for defence. Felidio the flyer. Wheatley at the ground. Handball's inside. Melbourne a chance now. Green finds a bit of space to Nicholson. Goes to the corridor. As Gary says, they love to straighten up the Demons. Here's Bizzle again. Beautiful kick up forward. No. Punched away from McLean. Maloney though. Gets the bounce. Drops the ball. Gone.
Great tackle.
Sends one down towards half forward. Going back is Coughlin between the lines. Centre wing, left half forward.
Which I'll get back with a big lead through now.
Campbell runs hard. Used the three earlier. Campbell's got the football. 75 metres out from goal. Sets it up to the pocket. Melbourne have got the numbers. Richo had it knocked away. Now Wheatley. Whoops. Speed up. Wheeler to half back. Had the carry. Oh, interesting. Robbo, what did he do there? The flick pass sort of. Meantime, it comes towards half forward. Slapped down in front by Bowden. Kellaway. Now Tuck. Tuck drives it long towards half forward for the Tigers. End-to-end stuff. This is Brown. He's 60 metres out from goal. He wants to go. You can sense it. Looks towards the middle. Coming hard with Ferguson. Got up first on it. Knocked it down. Kick comes from Bowden. It wanders down towards the pocket. Opportunity down there for Richo under pressure. Got plenty of sock on it. Goes towards full forward. Wheatley to Brown. Whoops. Whoops. Yes, indeed. When you hear two whoopses, something has happened at the footy. Don't worry about that. Bizzle plays it back to Brown. Brown comes up to Miller. Miller runs to the wing. Looks to half forward. Bruce is in front, been well held, knocked away by Newman, rode by Tivendale. Bowden once more. Newman, man onto the outer side is Kellaway. Now he can go. Kellaway looks down towards half forward. Needed to be precise. Marcus paid to Brown.
Brown's got it. Come up from goal a fair bit in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and that's what he's doing. He's saying spread it out. Need to find some space.
Robertson's pushed deep into defence, so he's got nowhere to go at the moment.
Oh, they really put the ball up here, Melbourne.
Brown's 10th possession, just puts it high up in the air, hoping for some tall timber. Simmons got back, couldn't hold the mark. He dragged off it. Whelan did well. Ground level, spills out now to Johnston, who gets a lead from White on centre wing. Decides to go up the middle of the corridor, though. Finds his teammate in Bruce, who gets it away to Maloney. Running through in the centre circle, a long kick forward. Getting back was Graham with courage, did it well. It's end-to-end between half forward and half back at the moment as Kellaway brings the ball out to Chaffee, who marks on centre wing. Looks up. Richo gives a long lead. That's where he's going. Richo gets to the front. Nicholson did well enough. Is that a chop into the arm? No, says the umpire. Sylvia. And now they can go to McLean. These two are waxing. Great mates as they have a bounce. Brock McLean goes long to the square. Davey from behind. Graham stood his ground. Punched it away. Front and square is picked up by Coughlin. Does it well. Out towards that man again. Graham, who's having a good night. Tivendale on the end of a chain of handballs. Puts it out in the wide open spaces. Richardson gets it off to Chaffee. Has a bounce. Nothing to kick to. Brown's the only one inside 50 on his own waiting for it. Now a lead comes out from Pettifer as well. The wait for Coughlin has been intercepted. Brown of the Demons. Handballs away to Bizzle on defence of 50. Your turn, Dennis. It's like watching tennis at the moment.
I'm loving it, Ed. Front hands, Maloney. A lot of Melbourne players. That's Sylvia alongside Maloney. High ball inside the forward 50. Robbo came back, short in from the side. Bruce is marked directly in front. It's football circa 1990. Now, I'm in a time warp, Gary, I tell you. And I feel great because if that's the case, I'm 40.
It's great to see. There's a big clash out on the wing, and that is Richo. You're not 40. Richo, Nicholson just said, you can go and get it up there on the wing. You're not dangerous up there. I'll zone back. The ball got kicked in, and this is the result.
Bruce, and it comes. Bumps it through. Melbourne extend their lead.
More frightening, though, Dennis. It means that Dermott is 30.
They're on 20. They don't want Melbourne would be happy for Nicholson to let Richardson run up to the wing to get his kicks. This is exactly what he did the play previously to this. The ball came down, they had numbers back, they won possession, and this was the result. A good kick from Maloney into the centre corridor where Bruce, one of the few times tonight, was able to get away from Newman. So Matthew Richardson needs to be at home.
So the Demons have actually kicked the last 2 goals of the game, the last of the first term, and the first one coming 8 minutes into the second term. Maloney getting a centre break for Melbourne. That's one of the areas they've been falling down. Johnson just points it out of midair. Callaway for the Tigers, the first to get there, has some support, so plenty of time to have a look. He finds Tuck gets plenty of instruction from his teammates, sets up Coghlan. He's just got there in time. He puts it over the top. Johnson inside with the handball, missed the target of Hyde. Now the Demons can go as Robertson gets it on. Away goes McLean. McLean with the handball over the top to Robertson. The 1-2. Robbo goes long, but there was a ball there. The Tigers flew together. Bowden stayed down. Holland got lost in the traffic there, falling over at the crucial moment to Tippendale. Normally a good kick, no exception with this one to Newman. Newman now on centre wing, boots it up towards the forward 50. Out comes Simmons, had the arms chopped, said the umpire. So from 55, a thumping kick. Can't throw it, Whelan. Whelan held on as long as possible because Pettifer was alone in the pocket. Richo's the lead. Nicholson, Richardson beats him in the air, goes to the ground. Great tackle from Whelan, just got it out. Tucker goes in, so too Nicholson, good play. He holds it up, disguises it. No, he doesn't. Umpire says you are gone.
Well, Andy Cracker hasn't had much of a go tonight. We're going to have another look at this. Andy Cracker, you would argue he and Coghlan are the 2 best tacklers in Richmond.
Well, that was a good 50-50 contest. No opportunity to get the ball out. That's a tough one.
Red hot, wasn't it? Yeah. They both tried to dive on the footy. The fact that Nicholson won out cost him a free kick.
Yeah. Normally when you're turned upside down and you're facing upwards, they give you a bit of leniency.
There's the prior opportunity. First kick for Andrew Cracker. He lives up to his name. Tigers fight back.
I saw Andrew Cracker play about 4 weeks ago, kicked 5 goals simply by playing around the feet of the big guys. And we know there's no Stafford tonight, but Richardson and also Simmons. So he is reliant on the ball movement that goes forward and strong contest and being able to crumb. And when you pick up a cheapie like that, that's just a bonus.
Well, they call him Jack, and Nicholson had something to say about Schmidt right there. 8-2-6-4 margin, 10 points. There's the bounce. Noble won it down. This is McLean, slips a hand pass away. Bell inside the forward 50. Bounces awkwardly. Gaspar, Uzo's got him. Down he goes. Landed hard too, and that's holding the ball.
Consistent umpire, well done. Took him on. Only had a half a second to think about it, but the league put it all up. Let it up.
Uzo with the spiral. Doesn't catch it. Now towards full forward in front to Robbo.
It's a great kick. Gary Lyons special. Well, it is, and we say it probably, well, not often enough because the players don't do them, but the worst thing that could happen, here's the tackle. That is a great tackle. The worst thing that happened with the spiral is that it mongrels off the boot and drops short, and as we say week in, week out, forwards are the first to react, and that dropped short. Robertson read it first. Here's the result.
Russell Robertson, 20 metres out, directly in front, gets the goal. His first. Melbourne lead by 16.
Simply, that's just a decision there by Darren Gaspar to take on a tackler then. He should have known he was under extreme pressure, that close to a bloke who could easily grab him and nab him. He's got to go now. He's got the hand free. He should have just pumped an end-over-end kick down the line right there. And see, Callaway, he's got to do 2 things. He's got to mind a man and watch the ball in flight. Robertson just has to watch the ball as the forward.
2-1 in this second term in favour of the Demons, who lead by 16 points. Bruce tries to get the centre clearance. It comes back off shins.
Russell's got the ball there. Come on, guys.
Well, look
at this. There's a bit of wrestling going on there. Graham saying, how about that? Am I being held? Well, he was certainly pulled out of the contest, so the Tigers may be a little unlucky there.
The ball. My ball.
Got to Peter Larkin, boundary side.
Yeah, Aaron Davies been off the ground, had just a little bit of a toilet stop, and Daniel Bell came on with the big strappy on his cork thigh. Did a great job for Melbourne. They wouldn't expect him to get up after last week, but Davey will be right soon.
Okay, Noble gets the tap, bounces off his chin. McLean flicks it out. Free kick. Delidio gets two. One to go on with two from Maloney. Tigers fan out wide. They've got the numbers out here for Kellaway. Still got the numbers. Brown.
Two handballs out of that.
Did it well. Not much on for Brown. Beautiful right foot kick from the non-preferred side up towards Simmons. Big pack flies. Wheeler from behind. He got the ball down to Green. Now they run it out. They'll come back in though. Brown beats one tackle. Now he wants to take them all on. Gets the handball inside. Cracker on the boundary line. Sets it up. Richardson did over the bar market. Great effort. But Ferguson with a sweeping handball releases Sylvia.
And Sylvia running it around the outer side. A couple of bounces. Nobody is near him. Three bounces. One's beyond the wing. Looks inside the full at 50 and Miller. Too high. Up the back column. He's beaten a couple. He's on report. Lays it off Uday. Goes with the outside of the left foot out of bounds on the full.
He's going to keep running. Sylvia giving some notice to the dock just to watch Matty Richardson all night. I just reckon he's looked a bit listless, just a little bit off colour. It's almost like he doesn't have his recovery up quick enough. His second leads aren't there at the moment.
Travis Johnson in the middle of the ground. His opponent, Hyde, has gone down to try and get on the end of this. Johnson now going to come back on his competitor.
Graham plays on, close to the boundary line, outer side. Noble didn't complete the mark. The ball goes across the boundary line. It'll be thrown in. Approaching half-time. The margin 16 points Melbourne's way. Tuck hasn't seen as much of it tonight as he has been in recent weeks.
It was about the 15-minute mark or so, Dennis, before he touched the ball the first time, and since then he's had 11.
Noble and White. Noble slaps it forward. Opportunity for Bruce, who stopped it effectively. Foley's hand pass to Coughlin, to Hyde, operating in a telephone box out there. The kick from Hyde around the outer side. Big leap by Bell. Delidio got the hand pass back to the call. And the call was provided by this man Brown. Goes with the right boot. Inside the centre square, Chappie has it. Chappie, about 75 metres from goal. Then where's Richo? Hanging back at this stage. Now he moves across the ground. He was a target. He attacked at the ball. Nicholson knocked it down. Davey gets a hand pass to Brown. Brown swings it out wide to Green. Green traps it nicely. Thought about going back to Brown. Tried to. That's ambitious. Brown did okay. Found it. Missed the target there. Whelan got pumped off it. Bit of a hand passes forward. Campbell with runners in support. Oh, brilliant tackle. Whelan took him down. Opportunity now for Meyer. His hand pass goes out of bounds though, as we go down to the dock.
Yeah, just on Richo, Dennis, there was word during the week that he was carrying an ankle injury, Dermot, and was a bit restricted at training. The club said he was fine, but that may be slowing him down a bit tonight if the ankle's still sore.
Just even then, he just looks to be heaving with his breath intake.
Yeah, he looks a bit ginger, doesn't he?
He needs to get closer to goal.
But fast spinning ball beat Bell.
Oh, look out.
Newman. Delidio. Back to Newman. They did it well, the young Tigers. The kick up towards centre half forward. Punched away from Simmons, who goes again. Opens it up. Delidio. Slung off the ball. Picked up by Sylvia. Sylvia now, beautiful kick out to Holland, who ran to the right spot. He gets it up to Johnson, who wants to line it up and kick inside to Uze.
He treads the needle, Travis Johnston. He's had, I bet he hasn't had a handball tonight. Dermot, never look for me. Can I can't see it?
No. 12 disposals, no handball.
And every time he runs with a footy and he's heading boundary side, he will turn inside, and it's a massive play because if he hits and completes it, you get a shot at goal.
He's come to the boundary line, Johnson, for a rest as McDonald comes on. Uze squeezes it through. No problem there. That's a goal to Adam Uze, his second, and 3 for the quarter for the Demons.
Don't underestimate this kick from Travis Johnston. We had a great view of it. We're right behind it. He's going to the boundary. You'll see it in a minute. Great tackling and pressure, which has been impressive. But the hands off, he's running boundary side. He stops and he threads the needle between two Richmond players and finds Uze. It's an unbelievable talent he's got. He will turn it over every now and then.
And Uze kicks from the best spot on the ground.
Exactly.
Johnston, 12 possessions so far. And the margin now out to 22 points. A real shooter at the Dome. Simmons knocks it down, going nowhere is Brown.
Just on that tackle too that took Deledio down the turnover. We talk about wide players get in the gym, do their work. He got ragdolled and the ball just spilled free, and that's where it got swept away. If you're a bigger, powerful body as he gets older, he'll stand up through that tackle and won't go.
That bounce one by Schmidt. Sylvia kicks inside the forward 50 there. Oh, strength by Holland. Too strong for Graham.
What about the penetration and the kick from Sylvia under pressure?
He's going to be something out of the box, Colin Sylvia. He's powerful, he's mean and strong. But this is a great win for Melbourne because no neats. He's kicking for his third goal, Holland. And it also means that Gasper, who's played fullback for most of the year, has now gone on to Uzo playing a completely different role, and they're exposing Mark Graham.
Melbourne have kicked 4 of the last 5 goals in the contest. Perhaps now the Tigers realise they can't win doing business like this. They may need to close it down. Ben Holland gets his third.
Marks inside 50 this quarter. Melbourne 5, Richmond only the 1. But it's all about the midfield takeaway. If they can match Richmond at clearances, they're going to win this game. That's cut and dried. One area where the Tigers really have held sway over Melbourne, and if you look at the way the two teams have been playing over the last month or so, Richmond win plenty of clearances. Melbourne don't. So if they turn the tables here, they're going to get a lot of one-on-ones inside 50.
Last 3 goals of the game, 4-1 for the quarter and 5 of the last 6. That's the big news for the Melbourne Football Club, who led by 31 points at the 9-minute mark of the first term. Now it's 28 at the 19-minute mark of the second. They've got away again. Richo needs to perform here, needs to do something, and he does it beautifully. And it goes again to Deledio. Wide to Chappie, on to Thibodeau on his left foot, should kick it and goes.
Gee, got a good game going there.
It's not as if there was no pressure going there, guys. It's not as if there was no pressure.
We've got a beauty here. This is an absolute beauty.
Get out of the way, even my own teammates.
And look, a good chain of handballs. I mean, this midfield clearance is telling a story because both forward lines are capable. It's whoever wins the ball out of the middle, essentially, because there's no flooding. Richmond have got a loose man at the moment. He's not really a loose man. He's just Melbourne have chosen to play a 4-man forward line. Richo up the ground here, he sets it up. He just at some stage he's going to go back in the goal square and you'd think do to Nicholson what Holland did to Mark Graham, and that is stand shoulder to shoulder. But in the middle, at the moment, it's all out of the middle.
Aaron Davey just on the right-hand screen, just gone out of it now. If they win it, they'll come backwards to him, the D's.
Simmons, Campbell now tuck. Runs back to half-back, pops it out wide. Simmons ran hard, takes the mark on the wing, goes to half-forward. Tracking it back is Chappie, gets an obliging bounce, goes inside the forward 50. Don't tell me! Oh, what a game. Nominations for half of the year. This wins hands down.
Well, we're up to the 21-minute mark. And the number 1 team this year so far in the first 9 matches in red time is Richmond. They kicked the most goals in red time, and well, if the last 45 seconds are anything to go by, they're going to live up to that average during this game. This is certainly closed that in. Now, inside 3 goals. Real spirit and hope out of that one. Well done, Simmons. Good running.
The Tigers have kicked the most goals from stoppage clearances of any side this season, and they're doing it again. They've kicked the last 2 just when you thought the Demons were pulling away. It is back to a 16-point ball game. Centre break here, all important, with less than 5 minutes left on the clock. In this first half, it's been an absolute cracker, as Dennis said. They'll dive in, we'll have a better.
One of the reasons that Richmond do that out of the middle is they got their centre-half forward. If you get a shot of it now, their centre-half forward line from this stoppage down to their goal line is absolutely open. So if they win possession, as Chaffee did, he can run right in and have a shot at goal.
Tigers kicked 3 goals to 1 in time on in the first term. It's 2 goals to nothing so far. There's just under 4 minutes left as Thibodeau kicks out wide. Richardson and Nicholson do battle. Nicholson wins the contest. Walks down the line.
before the game. Did Dathan Brown have another this? Probably a hand there.
Not quite. Not quite. Ball up in the forward pocket. The Tigers have kicked the last two. Simmons wrestling with Jamar. The ball spills out wide. Pressing through. McDonald's throw it. Gone! Beautiful tackle. A great tackle applied. I think Simmons will get the kick.
Yeah, he put that Chinese finger lock on him. He couldn't get that hand free.
There's nothing you can do as a player about that. There's no good complaining. There's no good the crowd getting upset.
You run up the white flag in those games, don't you?
Unless you get your feet free, and he's off balance, James McDonald. He's appealing for the high, which is a fair appeal.
Nice conversation with umpire Bozo. In the meantime, Troy Simmons, who has kicked one to make it 3 in a row to the Tigers and get the margin back to 10 points.
Kicked some goals while Travis Johnston was on the bench.
There's Seton House from the reverse angle here. Troy Simmons, normally a beautiful kick.
Well, the one at the other end, Ed, he kicked from a sharper angle, but it also travelled as he looks at it go away left to right, and that cuts down that angle. And it was always going to be a tough one, even though it was a little bit more space than he previously had.
8 goals, 10 for season 2005 for Troy Simmons.
Johnston to bring it in. I saw Sydney and Port Adelaide 2 weeks ago. By contrast, this is a mutation. Out of the back pocket, Whelan to Maloney. Just lays it off. Green into Mines. Back to Maloney. Maloney kicks down towards half forward. Kellaway from the side. Miller almost to Market's pay. Coming back to Miller. Just inside the centre square. Holland wants it. He's been a revelation up forward. It goes in his direction. Attracts the crowd 3 times. He's up working at the back. Uze Bacon square. That's was through. His third.
He did not look. He did not look then, but don't say that, oh, that's a fluke. It's not. Some blokes, their goal sense is so good. Look, he never looked. And their goal sense is so good, guys. They know where the boundary line is, and so with the relation to where the boundary line is, they have a specific idea of where that goal face is, and that's what he banks that on.
There's a Richmond player. I'll name him in a minute.
Double agony for Troy Simmons. That's an 11-point turnaround as look at Uze. Knew where the goals were. There was no fluke involved in that. And look at that.
Look at Darren Gasper, Ed. That's who I'd be looking at. He just ran up the back of 2 other Richmond defenders and left Uze on his own.
Yep, and that ends a run of 2 goals. It should have been 3 for the Tigers. It's back out to 21 points. That was a big goal for the Demons. Look out. Simmons does it well this time. Kicks to the square. Tried to grab it, take him to the ground. We'll have the ball up.
Prior opportunity there. No prior opportunity there.
No prior opportunity there, but it's not that different to taking the ball out of the ruck. The thing bounced straight up in the air.
Inside the last 2 minutes of the half. A chance to go to 10 points. It's now 21 points, so a bad miss for the Tigers. As it comes out to Nicholson. This time he gets it away quickly. No fancy business from Big Al on that occasion. Here's the 50. McLean runs onto the ball. Still time for another goal here. McLean's kick was a clever one. Robertson, who's done a couple of nice tap runs, does it again to Davey, who's away. Davey runs to centre wing. Tries to take them on. Beautiful handball over the top. Look at this. It's open up now for Green. It spills out wide to McDonald. McDonald's kick to Uze, who's bamboozling the Tigers up forward tonight. Looks inside. The kick is a beauty. Now, right foot kick, and he hits the man Bruce, and this is a vital shot of goal for the Demons.
He's almost the most skillful player in the competition, Madam Uze. Don't worry about that. And what they've got, see there, you got Gasper away from the goal square. He's been in almost all Australian form as a full back. They got him on Uze. Uze takes him up the ground, leading him a merry dance. Still kicked 3 goals. Ben Holland playing in the goal square on Mark Graham got through.
This for goal number 2 for the quarter for Cameron Bruce. And he gets it, and the Demons go out to a 27-point lead. 6 marks to 1 to Melbourne inside 50 this term.
You make a great point there, Gus. Now, you look at that Gasper chase up on Uze. What he is, and I'm not going to say he lacks courage, but he's too scared to run at Uze, and the reason is he's scared of being sidestepped and letting his opponent Uze get goal side of him. So he sits back and he tries to corral him, and this allows Uze to spot up a kick. Look, he doesn't come to him, see? He's just trying to corral him, because he just does not want to be sidestepped. And it gives Uze all the time in the world to absolutely pinpoint the pass.
Can't give him or Travis Johnson that much time. And look, this is a fantastic victory. Gasper lost away from the square.
So far tonight, the umpiring very good. So too the bouncing. Umpire Schmidt once more gets another one to go. Over the top, White. Green lost it. Spills wide. Foley. Green an opportunity. Claimed from behind. White goes over the top. Campbell's got the football. Miller's got him. And the ball up alongside the centre circle.
Now, Callaway's just dropped back off his pack. Robertson should go back with him and make these Richmond defenders play one-on-one, because they got two winners. And they need to have Uze one out. They need to have Holland one out.
80 plays 53. Dying moments of the first half. Delidio lost it. Campbell falls on top of it. There's the siren. And what a showpiece for the greatest game in the world. Not always seen at its best, but tonight the coaches have let them play. Freewheeling stuff. It's been exhilarating. We just hope the Tigers can get closer, because this game deserves a big finish. But at half-time, Melbourne 13-280. Richmond 8-5-53. A lot to look forward to.
Favourites take on the reigning premiers as West Coast clashes with Port Adelaide live from Subiaco Oval at 4:30.
Easy as you like.
Last time they met, the Power were too strong.
He's excited and line up.
Now, Woosh's Eagles are out for vengeance. Take control. Press web to go Fox Footy Active and join the game's #1 commentary team. Your Sunday starts at 4:30 with the Eagles and Power live. Then the winners' weekend wrap, followed by the Bombers and Bulldogs, then the Crows and Blues.
Harvey Norman smashes the price on plasma. Get set for our hottest deal on plasma televisions yet. Don't pay $49.99. Not even $39.99. Pay just $29.94 for this sensational LG plasma television, complete with plasma speakers, desktop stand, and built-in TV tuner. That's unbelievable Harvey Norman value. Don't wait. Update now to the latest technology with a brand new LG plasma television at a price-smashing $29.94. Stocks won't last at these prices. Hurry into Harvey Norman now.
Goes to the goal square. Richmond!
On Foxtel box office this June, The Wives of Stepford have a secret. Nicole Kidman takes on The Stepford Wives. Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg team up for the incredible true story of The Terminal. The Dance of Love gets Richard Gere into hot water with Jennifer Lopez. Shall we dance? One man will challenge an empire. Jet Li in Hero. Discover the man behind the legend. King Arthur, Director's Cut. The best sound, the best pictures, the best movies. This June on Foxtel Box Office, where movies come first. Experience Foxtel Box Office only on digital.
Monday on The Couch, AFL Supremo Andrew Demetriou joins Gerard, Mike and Robert to discuss the state of the game, the controversial tribunal system and his blueprint for the future, and the G-Train. Fresh from his 200th game, St Kilda full forward Fraser Gehrig. On The Couch, live and exclusive, Monday, 8:30 Eastern.
Let's go down to Tony Jones' boundary side.
Well, Terry, I've got to say, most of us tonight just marvelling at that first quarter. It was terrific footy.
Oh, well, I suppose where we were from, 5 goals behind after 10 or 12 minutes is not exactly what we were looking for, but they worked their way back in the game. Other side's just been too efficient with their use of the ball at this stage. And a great battle of the midfields too, isn't it? Oh, it has been. Look, they've just been better users of the footy. We're just going to try to clog them down. When we didn't go with their men up the ground, they overlapped us, but when we did, it opened up too much space for them. And that was the main message, was it? Absolutely. All right, good luck in the second half. Cheers, thanks.
Tony Jones with the plough down there, and now here's the report. There it is. We were told originally it was a fair way off the ball. It's not that far off the ball, but it's certainly an arm to the head. Holland reported for striking Gasper by umpire Bozzo. There's nowhere to hide on Friday night football. 2 angles. Here's Dennis Committee. The Tigers got a bit of work to do.
Demons led it by 27 on Friday night football. Started the second half. Noble hooks it down behind Coughlin. Quick kick away. Whitley missed it. Cracker Klein. Slips a hand pass to Johnson to Tuck, who broadens things. Goes to Coughlin out of his centre square. Long down towards full forward. Up in front. Opportunity for the Tigers. Chasing back is Brown. Well worked Bizzle. Whelan. Now Sylvia gathers the bouncing football. He's away. Little chip pass. Robertson's been quiet. Interesting. Nathan Brown of Melbourne now leading in the battle of the Nathan Browns. 15 possessions to 14 for his namesake.
Trying to take him down to the blast line as often as they can, but they're not too successful.
Bizzle got it from Ferguson to half forward. Holland almost surrounded by Tigers. Johnson over the top. Holland locks it up. Good result for Melbourne. Eventually it comes out. Graham gets a hand pass away. Tuck to Chaffee across the ground. Campbell has it now, the defensive side of the wing. Goes to half forward. Can Richardson get there? Well, he got there, but stopped the mark, and now he's been paid, has he? Whoa! Big call by Shane McInerney.
He still holds a key, Matthew Richardson, for Richmond. They should put the edge in the basket, him and Brown, and that's a bad decision.
Well, they're trying to get Brown and Richardson at least just a 2-on-2 against their opponents, or a 1-on-1 if better.
Richardson long to the square.
Mark!
Oh. That's called a square up. That's an absolute square up.
Pettifer's got a big role to play. If they want 1-on-1 with Brown and Richardson, Pettifer's job on this bloke, Clint Bizzle, becomes every bit as important.
But do a bit more than just touch the ball for a mark, you'll hope. Sylvia leads out, takes the mark at defensive 40, has Ferguson on and uses him. Inside with a handball to Brown. Goes for the kick to Robertson, who is up on centre wing. Davey is wide out to the, as you can see at the top of the screen there, didn't see him. Should have had a look because he put it straight down Newman's throat. He gets the handball going now to Johnson. Johnson kicks out to the wide open space. The ball's out there by Pettifer. Pettifer's kick inside looking for Brown, who did it well but ran out of space. Bad luck, he said, as we go down to the dock.
Kane Johnson's got a couple of touches this quarter. Sat out the second part of that second quarter with a bit of a sore shoulder, but he's obviously doing well now.
Bit of humpo-bumpo going on there as well.
That's the one when the behind-the-scene umpire should pay it. In the old days, there was an unwritten law. You do that, you wore one.
Boundary throw in, 40 metres out then.
That's sorted out too.
Third term. Noble could have almost got a free in front. Cracker slips a hand pass away. Brown in trouble. Beat one, knocked his second. Maloney took him down. Davey working hard. Johnson, they took it away from Davey. Flips it over the shoulder. In trouble, Brown. Taken down on the boundary line. It's out. Have a throw in. Emotions running high.
Best tackler, almost the best tackler in footy, Matthew Whelan. Big rugby league background. He's had 5 tonight.
Another throw in then. White and Noble. They lock up. White. Johnston. Oops. Through the legs of White. Cracker comes up brandishing the football and puts it out of bounds on the court.
Yeah, important tackle from behind. I think it was Travis Johnson got hands on him then.
Okay, Bizzle's got it. Steps inside the line. Now chips straight to his throat. Wow. Andrew Cracker. He's lining it up.
You take him. He got one little foot fortuitously early in the piece, Andrew Cracker. He'd like another one. Still it goes in the back half with Chaffee and Miller and Green and Timmendale.
5 disposals. He kicked 1 goal from his 1 shot at goal. This will take a bit. Tight to the boundary line from just inside the 50. Sets it up to the front of the square in the end. Off hands, and Whitley concedes the behind. First score of the third term, a rush behind to Richmond.
Richmond
26 points.
Employ a 13-man kicking zone here.
Robertson playing a lot further up the ground, trying to take Callaway up with him.
Maloney on the defensive 50, right on it. Eddie plays 54. Melbourne led by 11 points at quarter time by 27 at the major break to the wing. Sylvia been very good tonight. Off his step. Wheatley, he can run. He's a very long kick normally. Takes a while, but releases it down towards full forward Gaspard, who's had his problems, juggles the mark.
Oh, that's how he likes it. If it's going to come in like that high and long in the air, hang time.
Bowden pinpoints it. Chappie, short of half-back, goes wide. This is Pettifer, right half-back, a runner alongside. Ignored Campbell, sets it up and sees men at fast out there. Cracker, they get pretty well. Sticked around Bizzle, goes to Coughlin. Coughlin's forward of the wing, feeds it back to Timmendale. He can kick a long way through. A question of accuracy. Oh, just misses.
Well, Brad Green, we saw him before scrapping behind play. He's gone to the half-forward line. He's a winger who pushes to the half-forward, and he's trying to make Timmendale responsible for him. That's why they're having the little bit of fisticuffs behind play. Timmendale just struck him free on that occasion.
Back to 25 points. I reckon the Tigers need to win this quarter by 2 goals to be a good show. So a big couple of minutes coming up now for the Demons. Maloney steps his opponent and then runs and kicks. Robertson's been set up, but he took the mark. It was magnificent. Robbo, the excitement machine, from 50 lines them up and bends it back, but not enough.
He'll have to take body then.
Andrew Callaway's got a decision to make now. He has had Robertson's measure when Robertson stayed pretty well inside 50. He's a great athlete, Robertson, with a big motor. Callaway's got to close the gap on him.
Tony Jones has got some news. We'll go to him in a moment. Miller got it down to Davey. It's coming back in. Oh, have a look at this. McLean's got away here, and Davey saw him on the 50.
Oh, inside.
Inside, they're lining up. They're queuing up. He goes long to his mate Sylvia. I'm telling you, they're waxing these two boys. And Sylvia can line up for goal number 2 as we go to Tony Jones.
Yeah, just very quickly, Ed, certainly some fresh legs on the Melbourne bench. James McDonald, 37% game time so far. Simon Godfrey, just 11%.
He had 6 options, I reckon. Brock McLean, and he went to the NAB Rising Star winner and Colin Sylvia from last week. So they're both good players. They've sung their praises all night.
Oh, hello.
He got a blood nose. He's wiping the blood off his hands before he got blood ruled.
So Sylvia, the National Australia Bank Rising Star last week, comes in from inside 50. Can play the boy. That's his second.
And just your reward. Come off and have a spell, son, with Daniel Bell coming on. We're starting to get in a worrying time for the Tigers. Now, they've taken Pettifer off out of their forward line and put Wayne Campbell on essentially to make Clint Bizzle play honestly, and if he doesn't, to draw the footy, because their best chances are one-on-one with Richardson and Nicholson, Brown and Whelan, but at the moment the Demons seem to have all the answers.
That's what happens. Get your second goal, 14 possessions. Melbourne have got the last 3 and you're off the ground. Bell is back on. Virtue was its own reward. Bounce in the centre. Melbourne 14-3 now. Richmond 8-7. And the Tigers falling off the pace again. Noble backhands it down. Coughlin did well to his skipper Johnson. Floats one well inside the forward 50. 3 Melbourne players. Ferguson. What a terrific grab. Swings it wide to Davey. They're breaking hard towards the wing. Either one of 2 spots the longer lead. McLean puts back towards the middle. Brock McLean goes across the ground. Bell closing him down. Newman got it on the deck. A good result for the Tigers. Tuck arrives now. Newman peels off. Makes himself available. He's on the wing. Newman goes towards half forward. Cracker coming through strongly. Travis Johnston. Cracker kick going too. In goes Tivendale. Johnston gets a hand on the football, locks it in. Good result for the Demons.
Great effort by Cracker here. There's his great mark of Ferguson's. Lucky he marked it because they had the numbers. At Richmond don't go one-on-one. They left Davey out here on his own again at that last centre bounce. They don't go one-on-one. They can't claw back.
Beautiful bounce on the outer side. Tuck goes up, knocks it down. Johnston fell down. Hyde claims him. Held to him, says the umpire. Johnston very good tonight.
That's some mark by Ferguson. Oh, it's enormous courage, and this is important too. There's legs on the bench, but just see Aaron Davey off the back of this pack again with Tivendale, his opponent, loose. They're 5 down, Richmond.
All over him.
What?
Straight back.
No, you heard it. All over him. And the hand was there. Noble has the ball on centre wing. The Tigers have got to get going. They trail by 32 points. Need to kick at least the next 3 to get back in this game. And they're not going to do it out there. Schultz drops the chest mark. Ferguson again. He's playing the game of his life. It comes out to Wigley. Under pressure and free kick downfield. He was clobbered as he kicked. And Miller marked it anyway. He's got it on centre wing. Now they can really rip the heart out of the Tigers, the Demons. Up they go. Up towards Uze. Pushed underneath the ball. Play on, says the umpire. Bruce out of business as well. Now the Tigers can set something up. They get the ball going through the middle of the ground. Johnson went to ground as well. Wanted the extra kick. It's kicked out wide. Delidio's got it.
Free kick.
Delidio inside.
Melbourne free kick.
Oh, it's coming back.
Free kick behind.
There's plenty going on behind the ball.
Watch this. No, you ain't saying this back. Adam, you see what he did? Right, mate, okay. See what he did? Right, let's go. Let it go now, or I'll take some numbers, okay? Let it go. Let it go now, or take some numbers. Let's go. Right, you just...
Melbourne just going to remember who's got the footy here. I mean, they don't need to do this.
Michael Fosso.
Brad Green.
Right in there. There it is.
Okay, now Brad Green put down Kane Johnson and came at him from behind. And that's when Big Noble thought, no, you can't do that to my little teammate. And came in and got him. And that's what the umpire saw.
The Tigers had the mark inside 50 and a shot at goal.
And Nathan Brown was on his own, so it's a massive turnover. They've been after Green. The Tigers have been after him for much of the night.
Well, Green gets his reward here. The kick to one is a beautiful kick of the ball. He's got a bit of war paint on him. He'll be fired up. The adrenaline will be up. All he's got to do is control the kick from 55 metres out. This to just about put the stake through the heart too of the Tigers. It fades and through for a point.
Well, he stooped his way into that, Brad Green, because he was the aggressor. And he wore the last one from Big Trent Noble, who evened the score. And that's what the umpire saw. There you go. And he comes at him again. That one there. And that's what Trent Noble saw. That elbow to the back of the head and thinks you're going down for that.
Got to be a bit more subtle now if you're Trent Noble.
Oh, yeah. Well,
when you got the footy, you just wait and bide your time.
You wait out of defence. Hard of the wing, and the mark is taken by Coughlin. Noble is off the ground and out of the running for his own peace award. Down towards half forward, taken across the line by Campbell, or was it? No, Maloney. Ball is loose. They're going in very solidly. They put their head down. Should have got the free kick. Nothing doing. We'll have a bounce.
I reckon the players are enjoying playing in this. They're enjoying playing in a really good standard game, a hard game. There's a bit of niggles, a little bit of everything. But again, Richo leading to the 70-metre mark. It's not what you need.
Umpire Bozzo puts it down. Simmons taps it down. Brown stood his ground. Goes again, does Brown. Johnston. Brown didn't have the football. He's getting the free kick. Umpire Bozzo right there.
Now, Brad Green running with Kane Johnson. Chappie's running with Brad Green. It's 2 Richmond players on 1 Melbourne player. There's a loose demon somewhere.
Brown to Ferguson, like his game. Peels off half-back, goes short. Miller has it now. On the wing.
You can play on here. No one on the mark.
Decides to come wide by a hand to Johnston, setting him a task. Pass the back, got through. 75 metres out from goal, goes long down towards full forward. Holland at the top of Graham. Working his Uzo. How quick was that onto the boot? How about it? Truly, he's got 4.
How good is he? How good is that Crumb?
That goal sense is just incredible then.
And what about the turn of speed of Johnston? Just left Huck in his wake, but this is just something pretty special right here.
How many steps? 1, 2.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
That That is fantastic.
This front, that's quality crumbing, and then the ability to get it on your boot like that, just out of the box.
So Adam Uze kicks his 4th goal, and that is front and square. Crumbing football at its best. Left foot snap, goal. Knew where it was, put it through. And Troy Simmons will hate me, but since he missed that pretty simple shot, they have kicked the last 4 goals. The Demons, it would have been a 10-point ball game. We are now at 39 points with 10 minutes left to go in the 3rd term. White gets the tap coming off the back of the square, though. The Tigers couldn't quite get it away. Almost a free kick. They dived in all over him. Ball comes out. Johnson's kick inside 50 up towards Richo. Did well, but had to beat 3 and couldn't do so. Wheatley flicks it out. Cracker kept his feet. Hard at it was Whelan, as you'd expect. Almost a tautology, that. Wheatley, tuck, threw it out. Umpire liked it though, said that was good enough. Diving in on top of it for the Tigers was Meyer, and we've got the bounce 40 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
They won the footy, Richmond. They did the right thing in the middle. They kicked it down their forward line. Richo was 1 on 2.
Bell tried to get it out for Melbourne. Wheatley does get it out. McLean kept it in the zone. Simmons got it out to Brown. Has a bounce on his non-preferred. Still goes with the right foot inside 50. Richo 1 against 4 again. Made a contest of it. Well done, Richo. Had to beat 4. Weight and numbers got him in the end. And Ferguson, have a look at this. What a night he's having. Holds it up. Doesn't panic. And in the meantime, there's a free kick going away at Richardson.
And look, and that's a frustration that they don't want from Richardson. The mark taken in Melbourne's 450, that's the only result that matters. But that's a frustration from Richo forward out of just not getting a one-on-one shot. And it's no excuse. But, gee, they've got to work. Look at that. 1 against 4. They've got to isolate him.
In the meantime, Dennis, Miller has got it at the other end. Now, this is what happened.
Quite right. 4 blokes got Richo. He thought he was tackled by an octopus. Meanwhile, back at the game. Miller's got it. Kick from 50. Melbourne, just too good. This kick, though, off to the left. Well, just too good for the moment. Let's say that. The margin out to 40 points. Richo exhausted.
When you do have those wrestles, it is, Dennis, it is so exhausting because every action, every body movement is a full 100% max effort. If you wrestle a bloke, you're taking the sting out of him.
That's in the WWE, don't worry about that. Brown gets a hand pass away. Johnston has been superb. Cutting us wide again. Back to the middle. Green lays it off. Bizzle almost stumbling. Great tackle. Tracker. So he put the exclamation point on it too. What?
That's a reversal. It was too high first.
That'll be interesting. We'll see that again. We're about 12 replays behind. Doesn't normally happen on Friday Night Football, but it's coming quick and fast, the action. Well, 1 replay behind. Brown goes long from 75 metres. That did not look good. Goes back. Well, did not see. Oh, down goes Nichols. Jesus, what's going on there? Back comes Jones.
It's your kick, right? Head over the ball, you make contact with him high. Richo!
He's just lost his composure, Richo.
Oh. Nicholson goes short to Brown. You've got to love all of this. Over the top to Wheatley. Wheatley at right half back, confronted. Little chip pass goes to McLean. Rock McLean forward at right half back. The bottom line is the Demons are meeting every challenge. McLean beyond the wing then. Robbo's there somewhere. Fingertips to it. In comes Bowden in the one action, claims the boundary line with a hand pass.
That is 1-on-1 there. You've got Miller against Bowden and Robertson against Callaway. It's just genuine 1-on-1 contest.
That's a takedown. Watch for a hand in the face.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought happened, but it went the other way.
McLean just walks out of the pack. He can release Johnson and does. Johnson to go for home. From 48 metres out. Slams it on the board. No good, that one.
Brock McLean, you look at him, he's the one who released Travis Johnson there. We have a look at Brock McLean and he's sturdily built. He wears the socks down. And you look at him and you say, yeah, he'll be a good mud runner. He's got a whole lot more pace than people give him credit for. Just because of his physical appearance, you think he's a muddy.
And he's a footballer there. Pure.
Newman kicks out for Coughlin. For all that, the Tigers are still in trouble. They haven't kicked a goal since the 21-minute mark of the second term. It's now the 18-3/4-minute mark of the third.
Well, this is a win for the D's, making the Tigers kick straight down the line to a contest.
Yeah, high up and under. Good luck trying to mark that one too. The ball spills out to Taku, kicks it up towards full forward. Brown's done it beautifully. Magnificent play, Nathan Brown. Gives them a sniff.
Now, the fundamental difference in that passage of play as opposed to the last 4 times they've gone inside 50 is it's one-on-one. It is one Richmond player against one Melbourne player, and it happened to, on that occasion, work him under the footy. The last 4 times it went in there, it went to Richo, 1-on-3, 1-on-4. It is not that hard. If they can isolate those 2 players, they maintain some sort of a chance.
Almost three-quarter time. Melbourne lead it by 35 points. Another very good bounce in the middle. Rucks go at it. I'm labouring the point, I know, but bouncing is part of the game. Coughlin taken down. We'll have the ball up. No, it's a free kick going the Tigers' way. In fact, it's Bowden.
Just a little one from Brad Miller in the
bearing in mind that surgery he had earlier in the week. Now an opportunity for Uze. Uze on the wing, looks down towards half forward. Well-weighted kick. What else would you expect? Miller's got the football 60 metres out. Wants to go. Players on. Green. Sold into trouble. It spills wide. Uze once more. Hurriedly onto the left boot. 2-on-1 for Melbourne. Davey. 45 metres out. Snaps. It's tight. Just misses. That tackle on Bowden was a few moments ago, but he's coming off the ground. Tony Jones.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry, Tone. Don't get the huff.
Tony will go from National 9 News to Late Line soon. He's got the late news all the time tonight. Schultz. Kick goes over the head of the pack. Bell couldn't read it properly as Dermotson. Here's a chance for Cracker. One bounce. 45 out for 2 in a row for the Tigers. He's got it. Cracker gets his second. And the Red Times specialists are back in business.
I reckon Daniel Bell wouldn't mind having another crack at this.
Look at this, he's got a clear run at it, and it's not as if it just went straight over his head because the kick was so long. He had the chance to actually read the ball in flight and place where it was going to drop. That's pretty poor reading of the flight.
And he's not lacking in courage at all, Daniel Bell.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
It's just ball watching ability.
He just came on the ground, maybe that was the reason, but it was pretty ugly.
That tells a story. Joel Bowden dropping that right hand, and that may be something that will be looked at.
That would be the last thing in the world that Brad Miller would need on his plate. Or on Joel Bowden's plate.
That's right. Cut down by Jamar. McLean with the outside of the boot. Coming back almost the mark to Foley. Missed it. Down goes Coughlin. Over the top comes Green. On the bounce. 4.5 minutes out from three-quarter time. Tigers back to just 30 down now. And another man injured last week. Bell comes off the ground. He made a remarkable recovery too.
They've loaded up their forward line here for the Tigers. So they get a clearance here. It could be the most important one of the evening for them.
Well, the clearance would have been hard won. McLean after Tuck went to ground. It was touched. Graham gets back in the pocket. Looks across the ground. Gaspar said it passed. How will it bounce? Off his fingertips. Down he goes. Over the top. Uze. Here's trouble. Uze's away. Lines up the impossible angle. Well, just missed. Just missed.
Yeah, it's a big 3 minutes, isn't it? 3.25 minutes.
Yeah, and the Tigers they've loaded up their forward line for the first time this evening. Terry Wallace have been able to swing Simmons, Richardson and Brown as the only 3 inside 50 players. Cracker playing up outside.
But they spread the Melbourne defence. They'll finally get one-on-ones, which they weren't getting early in the piece.
4 goals, 2 to 9 to Adam Uze. Foley on the boot with his 6th disposal. Gets it out to his captain Johnson. Gaspar! If you don't mind, hands and knees. Party trick.
Put it in there one-on-one.
That's where he goes. Up towards Vic Simmons, who did nearly everything he had to do. Let's get on the dock. Joel Bowden, Pete, coming back so early. It's a tough one.
Yeah, great mark. It looked extraordinary early. I mean, 4 days, 2 steel plates in the face. He was very swollen before the game, Ed, and very sore. Wouldn't take much to make him sore again. We just see him icing up, trying to get some of the pain away.
Pete, we might get you 3/4 time to take us through it, just exactly what the operation was and the plates.
It just didn't look that hard a knock, and they said before the game, Doc, did they not, that you wouldn't get... it should be as strong and able to cope with that, so might it just be a pain thing at the minute?
Oh, look, it'd certainly be sore from swelling just from the operation. It's pretty strong with the plates there. Shouldn't push the bone back in, Gary.
Johnson charging through. Coughlin right on the 50, bending it back. Bizzle goes back and takes the mark. Beside the behind post.
Having said that, if anyone else was having that operation, you wouldn't even put your head on the pillow on that side.
Very courageous effort to be out there.
There's Sylvia, a couple of bounces. Beyond half back, going to half forward. Miller's in front. Juggled attempt at the mark and he takes it. This game has reached great heights. Just needs to finish now to make it a wonderful night. A celebration of football. There's Wheatley on the wing. Probing kick to half forward. Robbo. He's got it 50 metres out. Russell Robertson.
Started to run Callaway a bit ragged this third quarter. He got on his bike. You've got to have plan B as a forward. And plan A wasn't working. Staying at home against Callaway. So he's a great runner. He's got a big motor. He's moved him around.
Now, Uzo is a chance to lead right up the spine here. If he gets a bit of space and Robertson can see him, because Gasper's playing right off him in the front here. Now he goes to him. He's going to take a shot.
The season's high 6 goals last week, just setting it up. Green was up, couldn't complete the mark. Pettifer got it on the deck. Away to Graham out of defence. Close to the boundary line. Uzo once more. Gee, it's been a tough night for Gaspar. Took the points a few moments ago with a wonderful mark down towards half forward, but generally Uzo has been the master, as evidenced by 4 goals. There he is, Terry Wallace. The team's spluttering at the moment, but he's the man who put the V8 in this bandwagon. The Tigers rolling on, or looking to, and post their 5th victory tonight. At the moment it seems a forlorn hope as Cracker kicks it up towards the wing.
He's had a good quarter too, Cracker. Richardson being pushed off the ball by Nicholson. Held it up. Sylvia. Great play. Melbourne fans like that from Big Al Nicholson.
Been good, Al Nicholson.
In game number 100 tonight. Brown. Demons well aware of the clock with a minute left. They don't want to concede any goals. They'd love to take that 31-point lead in. Brown with his 19th disposal to Wheatley at centre half back. And they're running down the clock. There's no mistaking this. They know what's going on. They are now defending their lead. No one goes to Brown, so he can stand there as long as he likes.
The runner's been out to all the Melbourne players and just told them now.
Cracker on the mark. Wheatley and Brown. Surely the penny would drop. You're a Tiger. Okay, Brown goes back to Wheatley.
Now if they press, they've got to kick to a contest that's only going to be 50 away from goal.
Good kick though. At the McLean.
This is the only concession we've seen tonight to what we normally see on a regular basis, though, isn't it? Generally, it's been a different sort of game tonight.
Yeah, it's been a beauty. There's nothing wrong with this. Just killing 40 seconds.
Wheatley will beat Peter Featherby's record for possessions in a game if he goes any longer here. It's fantastic.
Can you imagine Pete playing in this era?
The Tiger fans got plenty to worry about, not least the time wasting in the last minute. Outside of that, it's been a fantastic night, though. And the Melbourne Demons lead by 31 points at 3/4 time. Richo, well, he's going to have to turn it on in the final term if the Tigers are going to have a win tonight. Melbourne 15-8-98, Richmond 10-7-67. 31 points to the Demons.
If you didn't catch Fox Footy's Saturday Central last week, here's a taste of what you missed.
I'd like to win so I don't have to put up with Bluey McKenna getting stuck into me for the next 6 months.
Could get it to Egan. The youngsters
All us coaches watch Fox Footy Central. It's a must.
Dangerous play. Richmond with numbers. Can he pick it up, Nathan Brown? Yes, he can. Can he go? Yes!
Saturday Central, live and exclusive from midday Eastern, only on Fox Footy Channel.
You're gonna die!
I've never seen anything like this. His ex is a mess. W just refuses to drink any other bourbon. You know what we're witnessing here tonight? We're witnessing a man staying true to the world's finest bourbon. Stink.
for your dollar at Bunnings Warehouse. Every day. 4-pack energy-saving globes, only $9.98. Assorted Azinco tools, a low $29.95 each. Aluminium work platform, just $59. British 4-litre in-colour interior acrylic, great value at $49.80. 2-kilo lawn repair kit, only $9.98. 8pm power board, pack of 2, just $7.50. Combination spanners, $1 each.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
We're on the eve of the largest robotic distribution in history. Every one robot to every 5 humans.
Showing only on Foxtel Box Office.
In Wednesday's Fox Footy feature, part 2 of another exclusive open mic with Spider Everett. Herald Sun chief football writer Mike Sheehan looks back on that run-in with Scott Chisholm.
I think after that you learn a lot. I got taunted for months and months and still to this day about being a racist.
Pre-season on the Kokoda Trail.
Did it take you to breaking point? Very close. I was about 3 steps away.
And his own public perception.
I think I've actually surprised a lot of people with the kind of person I am.
Wednesday on Fox Footy Channel, where AFL is everything.
As you can see, it was 11 points at quarter time, 27 at the half, 31 points at three-quarter time with Adam Uze kicking 4 goals too. And, well, the Tigers, their multiple goal kickers are small men up forward. They need to get going.
Well, it's been a fantastic game of footy. As Dennis said, let's hope the last quarter lives up to it. The Tigers' great hope, as it's been so often, Matthew Richardson and Nathan Brown. Brown did it a couple of weeks ago against Collingwood, kicked 5 in the last quarter. Can he do it again?
Quickly down to Tony Jones.
Well, Neil Danaher was given a frightful reception. He had to make his way onto the field through all the Richmond supporters who didn't appreciate that time wasting. When he got to the huddle, well done, he said, and it singled out Alistair Nicholson.
Melbourne by 31 points as we start the final term. Noble knocks it down, taken down by Johnston. Then there is Tracker. He attracts the crowd as we go down to the dock.
Yeah, just on the Joel Bowden, just to sort of say, we'll talk about after the game a little bit more, but that hit that he took would have just stirred up the pain a little bit. Shouldn't have done any damage. He's fouled out there starting the last quarter.
There's Davey looking to inflict more pain as he paddles it down towards half forward. Still he goes. Brilliantly played, Davey. Baines a hand pass, gets through into the path of McDonald. The runner alongside Silvio. They're being forced wide. Gets it now. Crawls after. How about that? Diving over the top, showing great desperation out there was Newman. Back comes Bizzle, and they tie it up. Now the umpire lets them play. Eventually Johnson feeds it back. And the short one just over the top from Newman finds Cockle.
Look at the fact that Melbourne were up by 57 points at three-quarter time and conceded 6 goals was brought up in that three-quarter time huddle last week.
We'll show you in a moment, Gary. You have read our minds because we've got Neil Danaher making sure that the Demons don't do what they did last week. They want to sing the song this week, Gary, if they win. Bizzle kicks it inside 50. Gasper runs onto the bounce and just thumps it out of the 50. Nice chance for Graham. The Tigers are a chance. Somebody needs to lead up. It's Richo. Full chested up towards the 50. Nicholson did well from behind. Nicholson does it beautifully. Used his body. Out to Ferguson. Ferguson now out to Davey. He'll have to just bind his time. No, he decided to get it going quickly. Look at that. Great play onto Holland. Holland looks up. Kicks inside 50. Uze! Too quick off the mark tonight for Gasper, and he's got players running into the pocket. And Uze decides he wants goal number 5.
They've played on at every opportunity, Melbourne, which has been when they played their best footy. It's exactly what they do. No thought here of just sitting back. It was get it on quickly. And for a defender, that's bad news. You'd hate to see the footy come in as quickly as it has for Melbourne tonight.
So Adam Uze will kick from 50. Has kicked 4 goals too. space. Donald and Holland close enough. It's a rush behind. First score of the final two.
Pat on the back to Alistair Nicholson. They've had 26 defensive spoils, Melbourne, to 13 of Richmond. Nicholson's had 8 of those in a marking contest with Richardson, which is a fantastic result.
Last 2 times the ball's gone to ground in front of Matty Richardson and Nicholson. He's actually pushed him away from where the ball is.
Evandale is running at half back under some degree of pressure. Kicks towards midfield. Delidio. This is Bowden. Good to see him back. Encouraged to play initially, encouraged to come back. Chippendale gets a hand pass away. Coughlin goes long down towards full forward. Not a good kick though. Awkward bounce for Whelan. Richard comes out stumbling, hooks it across the body. Wayward effort, down towards the pocket. Whelan reaches over the top. Punts it out of bounds.
Just caught running backwards, Nathan Brown. Whelan was playing in front. Was looking for an impossible kick over the top.
Got Nathan Brown now, Richmond variety, clears out everyone, tells them to go away. He's going to try and control this.
Ball spills, Campbell.
Now watch Nathan Brown here. He's the one who shouts the directions. He's telling his teammates, pull away, get away from the pack, less men around the ball here. It's easier to sidestep and get a boot the ball.
32 points to margin. They need one desperately here, the Tigers. They have any chance. White goes up. Whelan in there as well. Just kept pressure out of the contest. White, the second effort was good. It spills out to Brown. Tackled by Maloney. Good play. Now the ball comes out to Campbell. Slaps it onto the boot up towards the goal square. Good luck trying to mark that one. White crashes through. Bizzle gets it off to Brown. Brown and his players down behind play. Dennis, who is it?
Nathan Brown. He's in real trouble, I think.
With a knee by the looks of it. We'll go to Pete Larkins in a moment.
Maybe even a broken leg.
Oh, no. All right, Nathan Brown has not moved. It looks like a broken leg is what we're being told. There's Nathan Brown.
Pulling the stretcher.
Oh, no, that's terrible. For Nathan Brown and for the Tigers tonight. He has had such a wonderful season. The stretcher is coming out. The game will be held up. And Dr. Peter Larkins comes into it. Nathan Brown is second on the Coleman medal coming into tonight with 32 goals. Let's have a look here. Nathan Brown, the smother, was it? You had a similar incident happen to you out at the Whitten Oval.
That is not good at all. This is bad.
And Nathan Brown, as I said, sitting second on the Coleman medal with 32 goals going into tonight's game, has kicked 2 goals. He's been fantastic.
No. What a kick. That looks like some sort of compound fracture. Oh, gee whiz. I don't have to show that.
He's a pretty tough character, isn't he? I mean, he's not grimacing too bad. He's just sucking it all in and say, right, relax. I know what's happened here.
Could be well and shock. Pete Larkins, Pete, you're down there. I don't know if you can see anything that's happened there, Pete.
You just got to look. He is in shock. That's a double break here. It looks like a full tibia and fibula break. They don't get any worse than that. I mean, you just look at the look on his face now, but I mean, it's almost a shock situation without the pain. But just looking at that replay, and Gary, you were calling, you could see the actual ankle separate from the lower leg. So I suspect he's got a full break of both the bones there. Just looking at that, let's not jump to conclusions. But Matty Whelan, who did that, was hobbled off. His leg got caught, and he was pointing at the trainers and pointing at Nathan Brown for the Richmond trainers to come out, because Matty Whelan could see. He's on the bench here being treated himself, but he could see the deformity in the lower leg. And I think we get a shot of it early on, Ed. We see where the actual leg has got about a 40-degree bend in it. And that's the 2 bones. Not compound, but...
We're just watching there.
Look at it.
Oh, God.
Look at that.
Oh, no.
I broke my leg.
Against the Bulldogs,
and I went to get up, and because both bones were broken, it's late enough not to scare the kids, but you went to stand up and your leg just dangled, and you think your foot's going to drop off. That's literally what goes through your mind, and that is just...
So, Pete, what do? They give him the breath painkiller?
That inhaled painkiller. Look, he hasn't got it. The Penthrox, which the AFL clubs have all got on the sidelines when the pain is severe. I mean, Brownie's there with his, he's resting his own head between his hands, and the doctor's keeping the leg straight. The doctor's straightened up the leg. Just look at Brownie there. I mean, you wouldn't know he's got 2 broken bones in the leg, would you? But, they haven't needed the pain reliever as yet, Dermot and Gary, but clearly you think there'll be some pain coming on. He'll go straight to hospital.
The doctor, obviously, it's just keeping the legs straight. Is that what's happening?
Greg Hickey is keeping the traction on, Ed. He's keeping the legs straight. Just to remind people, Greg's actually straightened up the leg already, Greg Hickey, the doctor. And so Nathan will feel better for that straight away, Eddie.
So they have to pull it apart, Pete, so you can't have the two ends of the broken bones rubbing on each other.
Yeah, the traction would have been pulled down towards the ankle, and then he would have straightened it back up so it's in alignment. And Greg's just keeping it straight. And Nathan, I mean, look, he probably has an appreciation of what he's done so far, Dermot, but the consequences of that, I mean, that is seriously a 6-month injury.
All right, so that's the season for Nathan Brown. Pete, rods obviously will go in, and will that operation happen tonight?
They might, if there's no need to do it tonight, they'll get the pictures done. They'll probably do it tomorrow.
Okay, Pete, we'll come back to you later on. Dr. Peter Larkins with that extensive report. And we've had a wonderful game of football tonight, but that just breaks your heart as a football lover to see Nathan Brown, a sensational player, in so much pain. And it does. It takes all the wind out of the sails tonight.
Well, this is to see what sort of response you get here from Richmond for the next 15 minutes, because respected star of the game, star of this club, hopefully they respond in the right manner.
Noble over the head of Deledio, who tracks it back towards the boundary, looks back towards the middle, and passes to Tuck. Davey got there quickly, as he normally does, over the shoulder, got it to Johnson. Johnson, the high ball, down towards Richo, almost the chest mark. Nicholson comes over the top. Richo picks himself up, tries to dust himself off. And that ball is wedged between the pair of them. In fact, it slipped away, and Wheatley finishes up with it. But really, a pall hanging over this game at the moment. Suddenly, what was a terrific game, end-to-end stuff, has been marred. There's no question about that. Wheatley left the ball behind, and the concentration perhaps of the players gone slightly. White gets it away to Johnston. Melbourne in control. Up towards the wing. Miller takes the mark. Feeds it back towards the middle. Maloney goes to centre half forward. Uze should mark, and he does. Nobody goal side. Davey is running back. This is like the old quarterback play. The wide receiver tracks it down towards the pocket. Goes back over the shoulder. Can he get the angle on it? No. Bounces away from goal. McDonald collided there with Tuck, picked up by Johnson. And passes to Tivendale. He comes away and comes to the wing to Ledio. Nobody near him. He'll have to hang on to it.
There's a big midfielder body there, Shane Tuck. They're running into his opponent, McDonald.
Walton Deledio up.
In the back.
Simmons gives away the free kick. Had to beat 2, and that'll have to be 50. No. Umpire saying she was better for the back.
He's believed that Troy Simmons didn't know it was against him.
Yeah, fair enough. He took the mark, and umpire let him off on that occasion. Here's Ferguson. Very hard to get going in this game. Robbo tries to lift everyone.
And that's what Neil should take Russell Robinson off. He started doing this late in the game against Carlton. He's a terrific player, but that's just Learising for the sake of it. And Melbourne don't want to fall into the gloom that's come over the place. I mean, they've got a victory on their hands, an opportunity to bury a side. And that sign from Russell Robinson is not a good one.
Matthew Whelan, of course, was the man who smothered the leg of Nathan Brown. Came off a bit sore himself. Ball on defensive 50. It's Coughlin. His kick has been turned over. Wayne up towards Robertson this time. Flies from behind. Couldn't quite mark at the ball. The ball. Davies looked dangerous in the last few minutes. Will the bounce beat his opponent? No, Gaspar got across and rushed it through. And that one should have gone through post-high rather than trying to be dribbled through.
Number preferred, thought maybe couldn't get it. There's the ambulance ready to take Nathan Brown to the hospital. You would suspect, just repeating the news, if you've just joined, badly broken leg.
Johnson's got it now. Got it from Bowden. Straight up the middle of the ground. Noble is the target. Up he goes. He's been good tonight, Noble. Plays on immediately. Coughlin took a while at holding the footy.
It's the second time tonight he's had poor peripheral vision holding the ball through the midfield and been tackled, run down.
White's got it. Little chip out wide. Sylvia on the wing. Spots Godfrey. Slipping in behind the pack. A late inclusion. In place of the skipper, David Meats. 60 metres from goal. Sets it up on the lead. Green.
Great lead, great kick. Hasn't always been Simon Godfrey's strength, but on that occasion certainly hit the target.
There's a fair bit of space for him to kick the ball into. Didn't have to take into account any traffic encroaching on the flight path, I suppose you could call the ball on the way.
That's the way Melbourne are going to finish this game, is lead that hard, run that hard, demand the footy, be hungry for the football.
Actually, on reflection, it was a beautiful play by the rest of the Melbourne forwards. They also almost circled that forward 50 area and left it totally open for a leading player to go into.
Apparently Melbourne 15-10-100. The 7th time this season they've reached that plateau. Did it only 8 times last season. Here's Green. Been busy tonight, as has Aaron Davey on the forward line. Wonderful kick. He can really finish, Brad Green. Another goal for the D's. They're 16th.
With a close-up of Brad Green, then he's got a bit of the Ziggy Stardust head on the cheek there. To David Bowie. He kicks truly there, but it was a beautiful play. Watch how they hold it open here. And look at all the players around. There's some up around the 50, the others are on the goal line. And that is just magic. If a bloke can hold that ball up, being Godfrey out on the boundary for that long with a stationary static kick, he can still kick to a player in space. Well done.
16-10 plays 10-7. The margin now out to an equal game high 39 points. And it's the first goal of this final term after 13.5 minutes. Cracker tries to get it out. Tuck slams it on the left foot up towards the forward 50. Out comes Simmons and Richard does well. He's tried hard all night. Hasn't been his greatest night, but he hasn't stopped going. Whelan tries to knock it forward. Campbell to Johnson, misses the handball. Tuck under pressure. Great play by McLean, took him to the ground. Noble got the handball away. Now can the Tigers do something? Cracker is the target. He lets it go for Pettifer. Cracker's into the open goal. No umpire will call it back, and Pettifer will take the free kick from the back.
Well, it's a double win because he's been able to drag Cameron Bruce back to the goal spare Kane Pettifer, and then the marking contest or the marking attempt wasn't all that strong. Well, took his arm in actual fact, so that's the reason. And good free kick, well played.
Pettifer's kicked the point tonight, and he better get used to this Kane Pettifer kicking goals, because he now has to step up as far as his importance at the Richmond Football Club is concerned, with Nathan Brown out for the season.
He's been kicking well from his set shots this season.
He's kicked 14 goals for Dern for the year. They've been very good.
Did the under 12 thing then, lined up the thread on the football. That's going away.
They got that one 2 behinds tonight for Kane Pettifer. Bowden is off again. He's icing his face. Dr. Peter Larkins, you might give us a bit more on Joel Bowden. He's got a shiner as well from that one he copped. We'll come back to Pete in a moment. He's just in the Tiger rooms checking out, obviously, on Nathan Brown. So
Travis Johnston off the ground and Mark Coughlin off the ground. So you wonder whether both coaches now just think, well, preservation, one with a smile, one with a frown.
Brown to Maloney, Bailey to 15. Maloney in the back pocket. 16-10 plays 10-8. Maloney up towards the wing. Noble in best position. Takes the mark uncontested. Nathan Brown, a potential match winner at 3/4 time. Gone for the season. So the double well and truly burst tonight for the Tigers.
Big a tall Tucky.
A real bad night. Not so much the loss of Brown. Wonderful player as Tuck sends it long into the forward line. Richardson from behind, get a robbo, and that should have been a free kick. No, boundary umpire says throw it in.
On that one though, Dennis, if you've got a replay of that, you'd find a Melbourne player back into him and not look at the ball. But that's actually a shepherd. You look at Ferguson, he never looks at the ball and backs into him.
Good point. Okay.
Sorry, mate.
Bell comes away. Takes a wild as Bell. Slips through. Maloney. And as a result of that narrow miss, Melbourne build from the back. Maloney runs to midfield. Penetrating kick inside the attacking 50. Leading back is Holland. Awkward bounce there. Uzai. Brilliantly done. Uzai could have almost got a free kick. Tried to hand pass to his own advantage. Holland outnumbered. Spills back to Uzai. Down he goes. Kellaway over the top. Uzai thumps it towards the goal. Gee, he created a few problems here, Uzai. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eventually Johnson out of the back pocket. Working at close quarters. The Tigers under real pressure. Delidio applied a strong tackle, but Melbourne, as has been their wont all night, will not give up the football, and the umpire scores it. A victory for Melbourne. He'll ball it up. Uze was terrific there. About 3 efforts, outnumbered, but just wonderful skill, keeping the ball going goalward. Here's Campbell, surrounded, escorted across the boundary.
Might be due for a spell. Adam Uze, he might be the next one to come and just cool his heels. Good crowd tonight, 44,263 at the Telstra Dome. 8.5 minutes left in the game. Only 1 goal scored for the quarter. Johnson to chip. Ran into a wall. And will have a bounce. And Pete Larkins, as we said, down in the Richmond rooms with the shocking news tonight that Nathan Brown has suffered a badly broken leg and will miss the rest of the season.
What sort of player he is or has been over his career, you could just put together the package from tonight and it sums him up. He's got some genius about him and he's had a super night. He's jagged 5, he's resilient, he hasn't missed a game for goodness knows how long. He's a star.
Remarkable goal. Up there with the goals of the season, certainly the craftiest.
Just missed the little nudge there that gave him that little bit of space at the back of the pack.
They just can't find a match-up for him tonight. Gasper was tall enough to cover him in the air, but not quick enough on the lead or agile enough on the turn. Chappie isn't big and strong enough.
Adam Uze, career best 5 goals too against the Tigers tonight.
There's a bit of class factor there when you talk about excitement and between Uze and Johnston. There he is, Travis Johnston. I mean, it's a pretty impressive package. And had Cameron Bruce, who was in unbelievable touch early.
Simmons knocks it very wide. Brown leads in the race. Coming across is Foley, not in time though. McLean, Dizzle, now Brown confronted. His left centre wing. Little chip down towards half forward and Robertson. That is a goal to be savoured, really. Little chip over the top once more. Just sharing it around for the moment, Melbourne, as the mark is taken by Brown about 60 metres out.
He's been great, Nathan Brown. This Nathan Brown, I mean, he's been superb.
So much of the game is about instinct, but that last goal from Adam Uze, he simply fought his way through it. He was thinking every second, every millisecond. It was almost like muscle memory. He knew what he was doing with the outside of the boot, and the angle, just incredible. Now, Johnston's got it. A key player tonight, particularly early. He cut the Tigers up. It's good at 1-1. 55 metres out. Bending back. It's working left to right. He has slotted it offensive. He celebrates. Melbourne at home.
Well, they're arguably your 2 best guys. It's been a while since I've seen a 5-goal inside 50 full forward just dominate a game of footy. They've had no answer for him, Richmond. And then here's the other bloke who they have had no real answer for while he's been on. They got the 5 goals to zip, remember, at the start. And that's, what are they now, about 7 or 8 goals in front. So all night it's been 5 goals, and those 2 set it up at the start.
The Tigers are heading for home, and on Friday night football next week, it's the Magpies and the Cats. On the big stage on Friday night, it's going to be a beauty. Here at the Telstra Dome, under the roof, it's Collingwood versus Geelong. 3 goals to Melbourne in this final term has wrapped it all up out to a game-high 50-point margin now. And we'll have full reports from the rooms with the injuries to Bowden's cheek. But more importantly for the Tigers, is Nathan Brown, and as the ball goes forward, let's go down to Doc Peter Larkins. Pete, you've got the news of the night.
Yeah, I've just come up here from the rooms. Nathan Brown just waiting for another ambulance to take him to hospital. He's on the pain relief inhaler down there with the double break of the lower leg, and will have the surgery. Remarkably calm, Ed, and just waiting for an ambulance to take Nathan Brown to hospital.
Richards against the Bronx Cheers. 13th possession coming up.
Pete, can I ask you, why was there waiting for a second ambulance? Is there anything required there?
Well, they've just got the normal transport ambulance there, just a bit more serious injury, so they need a full-on ambulance there, what I've been told. So a normal road ambulance will come rather than a transport vehicle.
Okay, thanks, Pete. As the ball goes forward. Oh, Delidio from behind. What a mark.
Good shots of Delidio.
He's the young bloke, isn't it? Delidio. Yeah.
Good jump, wasn't it?
It's a beauty. Look at this one. Eyes for the ball. Up he goes. That is a beauty.
I reckon that'll just be filed away in Terry Wallace's mindset as well when you're thinking about replacements for Nathan Brown. That is pretty special. He's got some enormous raw talent. He just might have to be fast-tracked.
All right, Brett Delidio to get his third goal of his career. Thought it through nicely. Great execution. Well done to Brett Delidio. His first of the night.
It's one area that they've struggled. Melbourne have taken 17 marks inside forward 50. The Tigers have taken just 9. So the back line, after a bit of a shaky start, have just settled down really well. That is an encouraging sign. I guess, on one hand you have the footballing tragedy of losing someone like Nathan Brown. It may be that this guy, Delidio, spends more time on the ground and emerges as something really special.
Delidio, 14 possessions tonight, averaging 13 on the season, a high of 17 against Carlton. Eventually, they work it out of the middle, conceding some ground. Schultz, the high ball down towards half forward. Here he is again. His confidence on a roll. Forward of the wing. Delidio looks inside the forward 50 and spots Pettifer. Right on the 50. Pettifer would take a very good kick from here if in fact he goes at goal. He does not. A centering kick. Richo in from the side. Nicholson did pretty well. Taken by Johnston. Full chested. Comes away. Kicks to midfield. Taken by White to Bell. Sold into trouble as he was going down. Got the hand pass to Maloney. He in turn to Bruce. Bruce alongside the centre circles. Quick transference. Green.
Beautiful passage of footy.
Wonderful football.
Nathan Brown down there at the bottom of your screen, just being loaded into the ambulance.
And Pete Larkins reports a similar injury to Tim Boyle at Hawthorn, which kept him out for 12 months.
Yeah, he's making good progress now, Timmy Boyle, but took him a while to come back. He had a rod put into his leg as well.
So Nathan Brown. Really disappointing to see that. Our Footy Show colleague. And he goes into the hospital, off to hospital in the ambulance. Pete Larkins, a full report after the game.
And a lot of people just don't get it. Any contest out on this ground at any time during the 100 minutes can end that way. There's Green. These are wonderfully brave young men. There's no question about that. Green comes in from 40 metres out. This is tight. Slams it into the post as we go down to Tony Jones.
Well, as we speak, Dennis, bookmakers are readjusting the odds for various betting as we see Nathan Brown head off there in the ambulance. He was third pick in the Brownlow with TOB Sportsbet. Cousins and Pavlich were now shortened. As for Richmond making the 8th, Gary Davies from TOB Sportsbet tells us the Tigers' price could double on the back of that Brown injury.
And maybe the result tonight. Let's not forget, come up against a very good side tonight, and they've fallen against Geelong. And now fallen against Melbourne. They've had one other bad loss against the Saints. So 3 real contenders have put Richmond to the sword this year so far.
Let's not forget they finished 16th last year. It's a big jump up the ladder from a club that has not been a great performer in recent times. So they're in the rebuilding.
Easy does it.
As much as they're talking up premierships and top 4 during the week, it was good for that's good for the supporters. Everyone gets excited. They deserve a bit of a run, the Tiger fans.
They're still 7-3 after 10 games, which is a bloody good result.
Right up there. As he comes out to Johnson, the kick is smothered.
Good.
Well, Holland thought he'd do an Uze and did a Holland.
Graham over the top. This is Newman. Across half back. Puts it long towards the wing. Delidio tries to work in front. Bell came back hard. Spills to Maloney. Puts a hand pass away to Sylvia. The young players have been very good tonight. Godfrey. Bizzle. Alongside the centre circles. Wayward kick though from the outside of the boot. Might finish up okay if it stays in because Johnston, a dangerous customer, has got the football. Runs inside the 50. Decides to test himself. And he's passed with flying colours. Gets his third. The icing.
He just jumped up a vote, dude. Well, that finish, they had to readjust. I mean, they could kick another one or two here. We've only got 2 minutes left. After the bounce is affected, we've got inside 2 minutes.
As good a games I've seen Travis Johnson play. He has played some beauties, but he is having a very good year, and he is so important to this side. The way they play, the style of game they play, he is the barometer.
Travis Johnson has a look up at the scoreboard. Why not? You'll like this one on Friday Night Football. Tight on the boundary line, 48 metres out. And splits the post.
Well, if he can hit a man lace out at over 50, he's going to do that from about 40.
What about the people sitting in that pocket? What a feast of football. Uze and now Johnston at close range.
They've had a good one. Johnson's kicked the last 2 for the Demons. They've kicked 4 of the 5 goals off the quarter to lead by 51 points. As Bizzle comes out from half back. As Dermot said, there might be a couple left for the Demons because they're now starting to steamroll.
Yep.
Oh, and there's a beautiful diving mark to Green.
Now, he is one bloke, Ed, who can actually, when he shoots that goal, tailor the swing of the ball. He'll try and swing it so he'll open up the face here on the set shot. Yeah, if he kicks this quick enough, there might even be one more after this because this is junk time, and Richmond have just said, all been done tonight, and they so know it at the moment. They're just trailing him behind everything.
Umpire, maybe a bit of mercy for the Tigers. Didn't call time on at any stage there. As in comes Green. He's kicked 2 tonight on the left boot. Has now kicked 3 goals for the night, Brad Green, and now this is a belting.
I wouldn't even call it junk time. I mean, there was examples of it last. I just think they've broken this side.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. They've broken them, and now for that reason it's junk time and they deserve to have this junk time and capitalise on it.
Yeah, I don't reckon that Richmond have turned it up at all. They've just run them into the ground, and now they are reaping the rewards of it. Which I guess is whatever your definition of junk time. I know you're not being disrespectful, but it's just a clinical performance.
He'd be pleased.
Wanted to play Dennis, as I said earlier in the piece, he had his hand well and truly in the air. Good decision not to now.
Yeah, absolutely. Time to rest and heal.
Oh, that's coming down on his own head.
Straight up in the air. Look at that one. Closest to the roof, no prize. Johnston tracks it out towards the wing. They ooze skills to Melbourne as he pulls it back towards centre half forward, going down and finding the ball. McDonald over the shoulder. Maloney paddling it across half forward. They'll have a ball up. Since Nathan Brown broke his leg, Melbourne 5-2, Richmond 1-1. I think they've taken the mantle from Port Adelaide as perhaps the most gifted team with their disposal by particularly their feet. And their hands are good as well. Maybe only Geelong could challenge at the moment. Melbourne so exciting. Holland dwelt over the football and feeds it out. Heard a voice, Sylvia's. He missed the football. Schultz goes with the outside of the boot towards the vacant wing. Brown tracks it out there. Brown running out of space, just takes it across. And we'll have a throw in.
He's been a star tonight, Nathan Brown. If you look at the disparity anywhere on the ground, it's been Melbourne's ability to kick the ball short into space from somewhere around the middle to the middle of the centre of their back line. From there, they go long inside 50 and give the likes of Uze 1-1. And Nathan Brown's had a lot of short, accurate kicks.
Tuck over the top, knocked it down. Bell charges through against the flow. Tuck stood his ground. He's tackled by 3 as the siren sounds. Blessed relief for the Tigers on what has been a terrible night for them on and off the field. The legacy is the injury to Nathan Brown, but the skipper of Melbourne very relieved. He pulled out at the last moment. He was replaced but not missed tonight. Ben Holland against his old team, quite outstanding, and Melbourne win at 2011 131 to 11-8-74. They win decisively. They led at every change in the margin 57 points at the final siren.
And Holland and Gasper having a chat there, maybe getting a story together for later in the week. because Holland has been reported for striking Gasper off the ball in that first term by umpire Bozzo. Not much for the Tigers to take away from tonight. Melbourne were fantastic with their skipper in the crowd. They did it all, and the man who led from the front with 5 beautiful goals was Adam Uze. He is with Tony Jones.
Yeah, terrific 5 goals, Adam. Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It was a big game for us, and it was good that the boys put on a really good show tonight, and really happy with the win.
What about your 5th goal? That was an absolute cracker, wasn't it?
Greenie thought I was up watching Liverpool during the week, so no, it was a bit of a lucky one, so it was just a good win in the end.
Well, it was a bit like Liverpool because you got away to a flyer and then they came back, Richmond, didn't they?
Yeah, they're a good side, and we started really well, and they come back like a good side should, and it was really good that we could run out the game today. Last week was really disappointing, and it was good to run out the last quarter tonight.
You going to sing the song?
I think I will.
And just one final one. I don't want to put a dampener on your win, but an incident like that with Nathan Brown, how does that affect the players on the field?
Yeah, obviously it's not nice watching a good player like Brandy go down, and hopefully he's okay. And yeah, I suppose we probably had the game won by then, and it just really put it down. You could see their boys drop their heads, so hopefully he's okay.